For those of you who are watching the Miami-Boston game, we welcome you to NASCAR Countdown from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are getting ready to go green for 195 laps. We were just talking about Danica Patrick and Travis Pastrana. It's a challenging evening for them in this learning process. It's a steep learning curve, particularly at this track, in part because this is a place that favors experience. What will be their biggest challenge this evening?
You know, as I look at Danica and Travis, you know, in particularly Danica, I saw her last week. I was really impressed with her and how patient she was at the racetrack. She took her time last week at Bristol, a very, very tough place to get around, a new race surface that she had to learn. But she was very smart throughout the night. Didn't overdrive the race car, didn't put herself in bad situations. And as the night went on, she got faster and faster and faster. I think that'll be the problem, though, for Travis Pastrana, because at this racetrack, we're talking about Atlanta, the tire falls off tremendously. It's very slick at this racetrack. You have to be able to go around and find and search for grip. And Rusty, I think he's going to struggle with that.
Well, he might struggle with that, Brad. There's no doubt about that. But you know, one thing about Travis, I look at Travis Pastrana as a superstar. But the problem with Travis right now, he's not in a superstar team. It's a pretty good team, but it's not the best. And he's really having a struggle trying to learn these cars. He's really catching on. But, you know, one thing that concerned me about Travis, I'll never forget him when he went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and he ran over there and he's in practice, and then all of a sudden he just spun out all by himself. He didn't know what the car was doing. In fact, got on the radio and said, guys, I don't know what this car is doing. And to me, he just needs a bigger team to be with that can really help this guy, because he is a big, big star, and I know he can do better. But, hey, Nicole, you were telling me earlier, and we were talking about, after that Charlotte race, he went testing, and he learned a lot.
So while we've been impressed with Danica Patrick's patience, we're impressed with his dedication, because after he was lost on the track, he went out, he tested, he came back at Chicago and got, at that point, his best finish of the season. He finished 17th, and then he went into Indianapolis for the first ever nationwide series race at the Brickyard, and he finished 13th.
Yeah, I just don't think he's getting the reps consistently. That wreck at Charlotte, I actually went down to him, and I walked up to him, and he was like, I don't know what happened. I said, welcome to driving on a radial tire, my friend. That's what happens on a radial race tire. He had no idea what I was talking about, the lack of grip on the radial tire.
We talk about reps, like Nicole was talking about, reps, being with a good team. That's what the guy needs right now. Hey, I want to go back to Danica Patrick for just a second. She's really surprised me every single race this year.
She's doing what I thought she would do.
Every time she qualifies
she's had some highs and she's had some
exactly. Every time she's qualifying bad, she's running better in the race. Don't be surprised, in my opinion, if tonight she goes a lap down very, very early. And as she stays running, she gets better and better, gets that lap back, and at the end of this thing, she's a top 15 or a top 10 car.
How many times tonight have we said this? You have to chase the track. You have to fight the track. We saw this thing earlier, the pit window. The pit window tonight is 55 to 60 laps. And this is going to seem silly, but normally you pit when you run out of fuel. That won't be the case tonight.
You run out of tires.
Before we get to that, because we were just talking about her, Vince is standing by with Danica. So let's hear from Danica on the challenges of tonight.
Double duty again this weekend, as you guys have been addressing. And Danica, what's the biggest challenge for you in a double duty weekend? Is it more pro or more con?
I say more pro. It's a lot of work for sure, but I'm not the only one doing it. So, you know, other than just keeping organized overall, it's just a little bit tough you just got to kind of focus in for a few minutes before you get into each car, and remember what it is that you have to do. Because in the Cup car, you arrive at the corners so quickly, you know, you need to brake and all kinds of stuff, and you have to wait a little while to get on the power. Where in the Nationwide car, kind of caught me off guard how quickly you could get around the track this morning at 9 a.m. So, but I think all in all, it's a good thing, and I'm fortunate that GoDaddy allows me the opportunity to drive both and get some Cup experience before next year.
Look forward to seeing her on the track tonight. Danica Patrick, she'll start 17th. Dave Burns?
Travis Pastrana will start his 8th nationwide race of the season. Travis, what are you doing better behind the wheel today that you weren't doing, say, back at the end of April?
Definitely just learning a lot about how to talk to the team and what I want out of racetrack. The first mile and a half I did was in Charlotte, and it was an absolute catastrophe. I always like running the car a little bit looser. Here, it gets plenty loose for you. So we just try to tighten it up, make it safe, make it something that I can drive the whole race, and you know, hopefully that strategy will pay off. And it worked really good in Chicago. So just trying to make it in the top 10 or make it up top 15, top 10, and slowly progressing.
He qualified 16th. That's his best super speedway performance in qualifying of the year. Nicole?
Back to what we were saying earlier, strategy, tires. We won't see any two-tire stops tonight.
No.
You can take 6 or 8. That might be best.
No two-tire, all 4-tire stops. They're going to be stopping for tires before field tonight.
Don't know if you guys know this or not. Last 5 weeks, we've seen 5 different winners in this series. Who's it going to be in week 6?
Okay, for me, it's going to be Ricky Stenhouse tonight, and here's why. He's qualified second, and on the mile-and-a-half racetracks, he just flat flies. And his teammate of last year, Carl Edwards, he won that race. For all those reasons, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
You know, I have to agree, but simply because the Roush Fenway program is the best mile-and-a-half program in the Nationwide Series, Ricky Stenhouse will be absolutely toting the mail. I'm riding with R-Dub tonight.
Boring. When we come back, we've spent a lot of time talking about how rough and gritty this track is. Don't take that the wrong way. Rough and gritty just might mean a good thing. Marty Reed, Dale Jarrett, and Andy Petrie will not only take you to the green flag, they'll tell you why this track is a driver favorite next.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series rolls into Atlanta, where the temperatures have soared during the day, but the heat really gets turned up at night as the field of 43 tackles the mile-and-a-half oval. Now, the past 9 years, Cup regulars have dominated victory lane. The slippery surface plays into the hands of the more experienced drivers, but there are 4 Nationwide regulars looking to snap that streak and make a statement in the process that it's not just about winning this race, it's about winning the championship. And we welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where as the sun sets, the track will loosen up, and boy, you better be able to adjust on your race car, because it is going to be one wild night of racing. And as we come topside, we welcome you. Glad that you're spending part of your Saturday with us. Andy Petrie, Dale Jarrett, Marty Reed, and 2 races on the road courses. Then we go to Bristol Motor Speedway. We're back on the meat of the schedule, but this is not your typical cookie-cutter mile-and-a-half.
No, it's totally different from these others. And these drivers, who are the stars, but actually the track is the star tonight. But they're glad to be at a racetrack where they actually have some room to race. You've got 3, possibly 4 lanes that you can deal with tonight. And as slick as this racetrack is, because there's just no grip out there, you're going to need all of that. And as a driver, that's your challenge, is figuring out which is the best lane to be in each time. As this race goes into the dark and the track cools down some, are you going to have to change your lane, and what are you going to have to do? But this is a fun place to race. It's fast, it's bumpy, it's slick, and these drivers love to race here.
Yeah, most of these mile-and-a-halves have a preferred groove to run in. This one doesn't have a preferred groove. There's no grip anywhere on this track because it hasn't been paved since it was reconfigured in 1997. And that makes this track really worn. The surface is very worn. And it really does promote that racing you talked about, Dale, because the drivers love that. You got a lot of options to make passes and try to go where your car works.
Well, one thing that we can tell you is every part of this race is tough. Let's talk about starts and restarts.
Yeah, the start of this race, you would think would be rather calm, but it's difficult to do because you've already run these tires, and you go to get in the throttle, and it makes it very, very difficult. That's only the beginning of the problems that they're going to encounter. But these restarts get really wild as this night winds on. You can see right here on the restart, try not to spin your tires, get the car up to speed. This is when everybody knows this is their opportunity to try to make things happen. We're going to see them 3, sometimes 4 wide. And then as they get down to turn 1, there's 2 big bumps they need to negotiate. And then they've got the rest of the track to deal with, Andy.
Yeah, with these new tires, they've got about 2 or 3 laps of good grip, and so they're going to make the most of it. They go down these corners 2, sometimes 3, 4 wide, and these seams, you can see the tar seams. That creates some other problems for the competitors too, but this is what makes this track so good. It's so racy. You'll see racing all over, all the time. These restarts especially.
Tires were an issue last year. We had some blown tires. What can we expect?
Well, I think Goodyear's done a really good job. This is one of the most challenging surfaces for them to develop a tire. We've seen some problems where tires will wear out all the way to the course, blow out. I think tonight we're going to see the tires hold up pretty well on the wear side. They're still going to fall off on speed big time, but I think we'll be okay as far as wearing them to the course.
Yeah, the drivers can have some input with this too as to how hard they push these cars. You can wear them out in 10 laps if you want to.
Well, now you've survived all that. Now you've got to get on to pit road. That's a challenge too.
It's a real challenge because you're up over 180 miles per hour around, and you can see coming off of turn 4 how quickly you get to pit road there. I'm pretty sure that we'll see on the green flag pit stop tonight somebody get caught speeding in this first segment coming in.
Yeah, there's no grip there either, so you come off of that. There's no banking to hold you, and you're hard on the brakes. Probably one of the worst stalls to get is that first one. Sometimes you like that one because it's easy to get into. Not here. It's one of the most difficult pit stalls to get in.
One other key stall you like?
Oh, the number 1 stall on the other end of pit road. Kyle Busch got that through qualifying. He's the one that picked it. I like it.
And it paid big dividends for Ty Dillon last night in the truck race as he went on to win that event in his very first start at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Will that happen tonight with one of our nationwide regulars? We'll find out when we come back.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Atlanta is brought to you by Pizza Hut's $10 NA Pizza Deal. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Beautiful aerial view of Atlanta Motor Speedway as we are getting ready for race number 24 of the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Do you realize the season is now 2/3 of the... It's done. It's over.
We're getting down to it now.
All right. Well, it's also time for us to head down trackside as there you can see everybody getting together for those last private moments. And as we do that, we'll send it trackside for the traditional opening ceremonies tonight here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And again, we're glad that you're spending your Saturday night with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Pastor Emeritus Ralph Easterwood from the Glen Haven Baptist Church and chaplain of the Henry County Police Department offers tonight's invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity of prayer tonight. We thank you and we ask that you protect all of those that are part of this race. And Lord, we thank you for what has made this nation great. We thank you for the power of prayer and the power of your word. And we're asking, Lord, that you restore us and you bless us once again. As the old song said, God bless America again. Land that we love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, from the oceans, white with foam, we pray again. God bless our country. God bless America, our home, sweet home. In Jesus' name we pray.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Atlanta-based quartet, Von Gray.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reckless, the bombs bursting in and gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet of the land of the free and the home of the
With the opening ceremonies concluded, drivers will be climbing behind the wheel and we'll be getting ready to take the green flag here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's talk also about, for all of you who want to check out Race Buddy, remember it's our enhanced coverage for select Nationwide Series races. We've got more cameras than ever for you. All you have to do is log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy. So we'll step aside quickly as everybody gets into the cockpits. We'll come back, we'll fire the engines, and we'll go racing here at Atlanta.
Road.
Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we're getting ready for the command, but it first gives us a chance. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast about experience. 9 Cup regulars have won the last 9 races, and we always talk about cream rising to the top.
Yeah, not only do they have really good race teams, but it's these drivers and the experience that they have at handling a racetrack. As we talked about, it's high speed and not a lot of grip. And as you can see, there's a lot of drivers here that have experience. And when we look at our contenders in particular, it would seem that Elliott Sadler certainly has a lot more experience than anyone else. So he should be able to handle these other guys, right?
He should be, but I tell you what, you look at that, and I do agree the experience does pay off. There is one guy on there that I like tonight, and that's Ricky Stenhouse. I know he doesn't have a lot of experience, a lot of starts here, but he's so good on these mile-and-a-halfs. He's got a couple of wins already this season, and I think he's really comfortable driving his car sideways and out of control. And you got to do that a lot tonight. The tires are really going to go away quick, so I like Stenhouse.
Well, and let's talk about, do you points race tonight if you're in that top 4 group, or do you go out and try and make a statement here and get the win as well?
I think there's only one guy that can even consider points racing, and that would be the leader right now, Elliott Sadler. But in talking to him, he's on attack mode. He knows that he needs to widen that gap, but I think the others have to go after it.
I think points racing is just that. You got to go out there and try to win. That's the only way you make the most points. I've really never been one of those that call points racing doing something other than that.
Well, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm going to. Let's take those 4 guys out of the equation. Somebody that maybe we haven't talked about. Who could come along and really surprise us tonight?
Well, I think you're going to have to once again look at the Cup drivers that are in here. Casey Kane always runs well at this racetrack, so look for him to see if they can kind of lift this team up and perform well here tonight and have a chance to win.
Yeah, we've talked about some of the guys that we expect to be good, but Cole Witt, he's going to be our in-race reporter tonight. I think he's going to be one of those guys that could have a surprising run.
What's amazing is that the 4 championship contenders all qualified in the top 9 positions. So they're not cruising at all. They're going after it, and we're going to find out exactly which one comes out with the points lead and maybe a win, or will it be 10 races in a row that a Cup regular takes home the trophy? Well, let's find out. Let's get it started. Let's go trackside.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome children of fallen American heroes, Nathan and Savannah Brown, Michael, Jana, and Ethan Houston, and Barrett, Sepp, and Sophia Ratzlaff.
Drivers, start your engines!
Okay. Copy 41. Fire and hold, let you save fuel.
So the engines come to life on the 43 cars that qualify for tonight's race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. There you get a look at some of the fans that have turned out for tonight's race. And as we get ready to go, we'll take a look at the 88. There he is, Cole Witt. He's going to be our here at Atlanta. Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we're waiting for the cars to pull off pit lane and start on the pace laps on this 1.5 mile oval, which is very slippery on a very old but very racy surface. Let's get the latest update from pit road on our top stories. Dave Burns, you're up.
Marty, Kyle Busch loves to rewrite the record book, whether it's NASCAR's or his own personal one. And today, he added a new chapter. For the first time as an owner-driver in Nationwide, he sits on the pole. Now, he could also write another chapter by winning tonight. You say, wait a minute. We already saw the 54 in victory lane once this year, but that was brother Kurt at Richmond, not Kyle. He wants one of his very own. It's things like this that he thinks about, and it's part of his motivation to get to victory lane here tonight. Mike Massaro?
Just how good is the 18? Well, crew chief Matt Lucas says, relative to the competition, they've got a top 5 car for sure. Nonetheless, his driver, Denny Hamlin, well, let's just say he wasn't completely satisfied in practice. So much, in fact, that Lucas says he expects to get yelled at plenty tonight as they chase this racetrack and try to dial the race car in. Lucas, though, he's okay with that. Why? He says, we just want to win, something Hamlin has never done here in Atlanta. Vince Welch.
the last 9 races, defending series champion Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has finished outside the top 10 just once. So despite the fact that he's 19 points out of the championship lead, Stenhouse believes he's got some momentum. And beginning tonight, 7 of the final 10 races of the season are on 1.5-mile tracks, just where this team believes its strength lies. Already twice this season, Stenhouse has won twice on the 1.5 miles. He believes he has a car to get another one tonight. Shannon Spake.
Well, Danica Patrick has 5 career top 10 finishes. 3 of those have come on 1.5 miles. Still, tonight could be a challenge. 2 reasons: tire and groove management. Those are 2 things that crew chief Tony Uri Jr. said Danica still needs to work on. And this is her first nationwide start here at Atlanta. Still, she's had plenty of practice laps as she's pulling double duty. And between the 4 practice sessions between Cup and Nationwide, she's turned 133 laps this weekend. If you compare that to another rookie in the field, Austin Dillon, who has just 51. Marty?
All right, thank you, Shannon. Of course, Danica, part of Junior Motorsports, and of course, sort of overshadowing the other member of the team, and that be the number 88 of Cole Witt. But tonight, Cole is going to be our in-race reporter, so he's going to get a little of the focus as we're going to get a chance to talk to him right now. And there you see the numbers of Cole and Danica.
Cole, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
10-4, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We appreciate you talking with us tonight, especially coming off of a great run there last week. We talked all week what a great job you did driving the race car and with that 6th-place finish. And that leads us to our mailbag question from Rob in Tampa, Florida. And he asked, how much of a confidence boost did you get after your strong run at Bristol last week?
Oh, yeah. It's so nice to have a good run finally. I mean, it's not been to the fact that we haven't had speed. I mean, we've been really fast at a lot of these, even the road courses and stuff. It's just a lot of bad luck. And it's nice to finally stop the bleeding a little bit, come home with, a top 10 finish, almost top 5, to run real competitive. So look forward to a good run here. I think we got a really good NASCAR Bashers car here. Looking forward to it.
Hey, Cole, we've been talking about how the experience really matters at this racetrack. You've only got a Truck Series start here. Have you been able to lean on your car, on Darrell Jr., any, as this race is going to transition into nighttime, as to what to expect from this track, maybe?
Yeah, 10-4. I mean, I can pretty much lay over on Dale anytime, just for any kind of advice. He helps out everywhere we go, and, if I ever have any questions, I know I'm going to get a straight answer, and it might not be what I want to hear sometimes, and sometimes it is. So it works out really good, but he's been a lot of help and made my learning curve a lot quicker. So we're just trying to keep learning here and, do the best we can on these new tracks for me.
All right, Cole, again, we appreciate you talking with us. You have a great night. Now, Andy's going to talk to the man that's probably not going to let you come to pit road as often as you'd like to get some tires tonight. That'd be your crew chief, Bruce Cook.
Hey, Bruce Cook, it's Andy Petrie in the booth. We're up here talking about how the tire really doesn't hold up that well here on this real abrasive surface. You got 5 sets, counting the sets you have on the car. How will you manage those in the race tonight?
Well, once again, Goodyear has brought a great tire here. The drop-off is incredible. It's about a 1.5 seconds to almost 2 seconds in drop-off, so it doesn't necessarily wear out and cause a problem. It just wears where the speed goes away. So we all wish on pit road we had about an extra 3 sets of tires, but what we really want to do is just see long green flag runs and let the race progress so we can put them tires on to the end of the race and still have a set if we needed to the last 50.
Okay, Bruce, I hope that strategy works out for you as far as the way the caution flags fly. We appreciate you talking to us.
10-4, thank you.
And our over-the-wall reporter is Jeff Schoaf. He is the front tire carrier for the number 88 team, working down on pit road. There he is. Thanks, Jeff. You guys be safe down there tonight.
Thank you.
Let's check in on all of our onboard cameras for you. Elliott Sadler in the number 2 has our Goodyear onboard camera. Austin Dillon with the Advocare onboard. Another title contender, Ricky Stenhouse, the Ford EcoBoost camera. Danica Patrick, GoDaddy.com as always. Matt Keselowski with the Dodge on board. Justin Allgaier with the Nationwide Insurance camera. Kevin Harvick with Chevrolet. And you already have seen and talked and heard from Cole Witt with Nationwide Insurance. So the pace car is getting ready to pull down. They're coming through turn number 4. Strap in. It's going to be a little dicey till 8:02 when the sun sets, heading into turn number 1 because the sun is pretty bright right now, heading down that direction. Green flag is in the air. Yes, we're green at Atlanta. no spinning of the tires for Kyle Busch on that start. He takes the early lead.
Yeah, no, he's usually ready to go, but I think that sun that you talked about there may hamper, especially the guy that is in second place, not being able to really see and understand what's going on because it is so bright there as you get to the start-finish line, so that may hamper that if we have any more restarts.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to go into that corner by memory. You can see from that shot right there, it's hard to see.
You can already see what the drivers love about this racetrack. Run on the very bottom, in the middle, and at the top.
The 6. That's Ricky Stenhouse right in front of the 33 of Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, you can see Stenhouse ran the top down in 1 and 2. Back on the bottom, a little sideways there, but had a great run down the back straightaway to take that second spot away.
But we noticed that in the truck race last night. Everybody seemed to run higher, and there's that sun again going into 1 and 2. And then, Dave, give us an update on that sun.
Well, Marty, Elliott Sadler had 3 concerns there going into turn 1. Right now, as he goes down the backstretch, his rear view mirror is obscured. He can't see what people are doing behind him. And then finally, if he has to pit early, seeing his pit box as Stenhouse shoots to the lead.
And you're right, shoot is the right word.
Yeah, I just looked at the lap time. That the first time lap for Stenhouse was faster than the qualifying speed for the pole.
So Ricky Stenhouse has a car that right now is flying, and we've got the caution out. As the word is, Joey Gase has, yes, hit the wall.
He's hit it pretty good, too.
Now, the last couple of years, we went like almost 40 or more laps before we had our first caution.
Yeah, 43 laps the last 2 years before the first caution. Yeah, that's early. Must have had some kind of mechanical issue that, like I said, something broke.
Joey's okay, but they're going to have to tow him back. He was 38th, and Joey actually did have some problems earlier in practice. He spun. Now watch the back right of your screen.
Oh, look at that. Just straight in the wall. Yeah. No control at all.
Yeah, I don't think you can hang that one on Joey.
No, and not even it didn't. That's not even a tire. That's something in the steering that looked like it broke as he got down into the corner.
So Joey climbing out. You can see he is okay. None the worse for wear. But his day is over very early here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He'll make the mandatory trip to the infield care center. We'll make a mandatory trip, but we'll be right back. Beautiful night here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. If you want to join the conversation on Twitter, it's at NASCAR ESPN and hashtag Pit Studio. Under our first caution here, and let's take a look at Kevin Harvick. We're going to play some radio here for you, but first, he seemed to have an issue with Kyle Busch. Let's go back to the start of the race, see if this is what he was talking about.
The only thing we can really see is the start. You can see Kevin is back a little bit, gets a good run at Kyle. You can see he spun the tire just a little bit, but Harvick looked like he was going to make a move, and Kyle Busch kind of stopped that effort.
Sam, I'll just wreck the 54, Billy. It'll be a lot easier. Let's get it over with. Okay.
He doesn't mean that.
Well, I think he's just a little aggravated that he had that run, and why would you do that before you've even run a lap out here? But I'm sure Kyle's probably saying, why was he trying to make a move before we even get to turn 1?
All right, they have not finished the cleanup. The lights are still on the pace car, so it gives us a chance. We'll step aside quickly one more time, come back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, go back to green flag racing.
Where the wind blows, baby, you can bet I'll be right.
Welcome back to the NRA American Warrior 300 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Let's listen in on Ricky Stenhouse radios. We're getting ready to go green.
That sun's probably going to get a little worse before it gets a little better for you, bud. Just hang through it.
No, it's already getting a little better. As long as I pick it up down the straightaway, it shades the corner more. So I'd rather get it down the straightaway than it getting into the corner. So it's getting a little better.
Green flag flies. Ricky chose the inside lane. Kyle Busch alongside with Harvick third, Elliott Sadler fourth.
the leader on the restarts here has such an advantage. We talk about the corners for the racetrack not having grip. That goes for the front straightaway too. And you have such an advantage knowing when you're going to go, and it's just hard to anticipate when you're that second car. So I think we'll probably see the leader of the race choose that inside lane most of the time.
And look at that, you have 3 lanes going through 3 and 4. There's Sam Hornish Jr. in the 12 alongside Denny Hamlin, and we go on board with Brad Keselowski. Battle for the lead now as Kevin Harvick is on the low side in the 33. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to hang on.
Over the years here, I've seen that Harvick is one of the teams. Uh-oh, we got another caution.
Caution is out again. Word we're hearing is the 41 of Fane Skinner. We may have oil on the track.
As a driver, it's hard to find out when there's oil on this track because it's so slick. So it's a good thing somebody's watching.
Let's go back and show you exactly what our cameras caught.
Definitely some kind of problem. I can smell it up here, actually. I don't know what it is, but something important has gone wrong under the hood.
Smell oil all the way up here, Fane. Just nurse her in there, bud.
You heard the same thing you said, Andy, about being able to smell the oil. 11 laps. Does anybody short pit?
No, not yet. They only have 5 sets of tires to work with here. You'd like to. If you had unlimited sets, you might even think about coming, but not tonight.
You see Luke Lambert. He's sort of kicked back, and I think you're right, Andy. I see nobody set up along the wall. Checking that. Fane Skinner, we can't tell you, has coasted into pit road right now. And there he goes. He joins the 71 of Carl Long, J.J. Yaley, and Joey Gase. Those guys are off the track, as is Josh Wise, Harmon, Chase Miller. They're all behind the wall. So there's no takers up front, so we'll step aside one more time and come back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, and hopefully we'll get some more green flag laps. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues tomorrow on baseball's biggest stage with a battle between 2 Cy Young candidates within the AL Central. Chris Sale and the White Sox face off against Justin Verlander and the Tigers at 8 o'clock on ESPN2. Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. You also can catch it live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. All right, nobody pitted. So let's talk a little bit about tire management with our over-the-wall reporter, Jeff Schoaf. Jeff, you only 5 sets, so Andy up here said nobody would be a taker, and sure enough, how do you manage the tires down there?
Well, I think you're gonna want to take tires every chance you get, but you don't want to come too early and burn through a set of these Goodyears. The race track is so fast and so coarse that you really burn them up real quick. The tires fall off really fast, and we'll do our best we can to manage them, but we're going to get them in here and out of the pits as quick as we can.
How fast did you see the fall off? How many laps did you guys go before you really saw the times dive?
Multiple, 2 and 3 laps. That's it. Even in qualifying, you saw guys, making 1 lap and done. As soon as they get 1 lap of full speed on them, they immediately start to fall off.
All right, Jeff, thanks for the update. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. And
thank you, guys.
Let's reset it. We've got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on point. He's led 12 of our 14 laps so far. Kyle Busch has led the other 2. And you've got Elliott Sadler, Kyle Busch, there in row 2. Casey Kane, Denny Hamlin in row 3. Pace cars pulled off. There you see row 4 with Sam Hornish, Brad Keselowski, and green flag flies. We're back to racing. And again, 2 wide coming down now, 3 wide, heading in the corner. That's Casey Kane in the 38.
Elliott Sadler up on the high side trying to make that work. We haven't seen this work in the nationwide cars much up on the high side, but Sadler getting a good run off turn 4.
They come by the stripe this time, and you will have Stenhouse, Harvick, Sadler, Kyle Busch, and Kane. That is your top 5.
like early on here, Kyle Busch really struggling with his car. He's usually so good on these restarts. His car not performing like he's looking for it to yet.
There's Denny Hamlin in the 18 right behind Kyle's 54. And again, Elliott way up top.
Yeah, he made that work on that first lap, but I just don't know that that's the way to do it. See Harvick make a nice run off turn 4, trying to make this work down on the low side into 1 and 2.
Kevin Harvick. Can he clear him? It looks like he will.
I was say earlier, Harvick's one of those guys I've seen to make the bottom work really well, especially in 1 and 2, where he can get his left front wheel basically on below the yellow line and even on it or below it. I think that can pay off big tonight.
The battle for 6. Casey Kane, Brad Keselowski, Sam Hornish right behind. Everybody sort of gets back in line. You know, we've noticed so many different lines, and we mentioned last night in the truck race, everybody was able to run high up in 1 and 2, but down in 3 and 4, the circumference is a much wider arc and maybe not enough horsepower.
Yeah, it sure makes a difference. It makes it more difficult in that end, but if you can make that work and kind of maintain, then you're not abusing your tires as much as you are when you go to the bottom in 3 and 4. So if you can make it work and just not lose any time in 3 and 4, then you're only going to help save the life of the tires a little bit more.
Just watching that lap through 3 and 4, Stenhouse tried to run the bottom right there with Harvick and lost probably 3 or 4 car lengths through the middle of the corner. Might try something different.
Yeah, and Harvick, as you mentioned, does seem to make it work better. Well, we saw him here a couple of years ago, just wear everybody out running every lap right on the bottom.
There goes Casey Kane as he gets around Denny Hamlin. So move Kane up to the 5th position as Denny goes high.
The way to make that top work is you got to use that momentum that you gain from running that higher speed through the middle of the corner and then carry it all the way down the straightaway. Doesn't seem like you say, it's as big an advantage with the Nationwide Series cars as it is the Sprint Cup car.
Now Denny goes down low, right on the line. Let's get an update on that 38 from Vince Welch.
Well, with the sun going down, the handling of some of these cars, and we're starting to hear some different feedback from guys now that the track might be starting to cool off a little bit. The lights have come on here. Casey Kane says the car's a little bit tight, but it's a good tight. We hear so many drivers talking about being on the edge. A little security good for the 38 right now.
Talked to several of his crew members today, and they were very confident. They said, we've got ourselves a good race car.
Yeah, having it a little bit tight allows you to go up there, stay in the gas a lot, which is what Casey Kane's really good at these mile-and-a-half racetrack, keeping that momentum up. And if you've got it a little bit on the tight side where you're not pushing that right front off, that's a really good car to drive.
Yeah, now what happens is late in the run, that can really pay off here. I was able to look at some of the tire wear statistics from some of the teams from practice, and you see the tire wear really on the right rear is quite a bit higher than it is on the right front. So if you can save that right rear a little bit by having a tight race car, it can pay off late.
Let's check in on Austin Dillon. You're on board with him. He's fighting with the 11 of Brian Scott. That is for 12th and 13th. Austin's little brother Ty won the truck race last night, his first Camping World Truck Series victory.
Well, that Austin was looking forward to coming to a racetrack, even though he doesn't have any experience here in a Nationwide car. But the last 3 weeks have been hurting his championship chances quite a bit. So they were looking to make some good things happen here, Shannon.
Yeah, Dale, something else he's looking forward to is coming down pit road and making some adjustments to that car. He says it's very free. The right rear is just completely coming around on him. He can't put any wheel in it.
That's a difficult race car to drive here because we talked about the high speed and not a lot of grip. And when you're trying to do that, you're just literally trying to hang on as a driver right at that point in time.
Checking in on another battle. Sam Hornish Jr. in the 12, the 18 of Denny Hamlin. That's for 12. Oh, Sam gets a little wiggle there.
Yeah, you're going to get that down there. It's so rough down on the bottom part of the racetrack there, and the car just jumps around. You just have to manhandle it off the corner then.
And he was able to complete the pass in the process.
You can see it, whoa, big time wiggle getting into turn 3. He's still able to stay in it, though.
Dave, give us an update on that 12th car. What are you hearing?
Well, right now it looks as bad as it looks the whole race, but Sam said early on, like around lap 5, it's the best it had been all weekend. So they may be seeing a swing in this race car they don't like right now, but after being very, very loose in practice, Sam's opening laps were the best he had had.
Looking at the battle for third place right now, Kyle Busch in the 54, Elliott Sadler up high again.
Like Kyle was able to find just a little bit of grip getting all the way down on the bottom of the track.
Kyle does clear him, and there's Casey Kane sneaking up on the 2.
Big sparks flying from that 54 on the apron.
Sadler looks to have his hands full right now as he lost one spot to the 54, and Casey's knocking on the door.
Really seen Elliott be committed to that top lane. I just wonder if losing all these spots, would he kind of reconsider his strategy here?
Sometimes your car dictates that it won't let you go to the bottom of the racetrack.
So move Kane up into the number 4 spot. You're looking at race leader Kevin Harvick, his longest winning streak, 29 races here in this series. Welcome back to the NRA American Warrior 300 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And fans, remember to check out Race Buddy. It's enhanced coverage for select Nationwide Series races, and we've got a lot more cameras than ever. Just log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy. All right, let's take a look at Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s grill. Now, there's your race leader, Kevin Harvick. He leads by 4.7 seconds. That's right, he has really opened up the gap. But this might be an issue right on the front gear. Whoa, it's gone. During the commercial break, he actually had a piece of paper on there. In fact, we'll go back and show it to you. And the temperatures were going up.
And you see a little piece of plastic right there on that opening part of that grill where they don't have it taped off, and he'd gotten up to about 250 degrees. It's like he got lucky and got it off of there.
So that'll make the team happy, especially when those temperatures start coming down. And you can see he's got his hands full with Kyle Busch right now. That is the battle for second on the racetrack.
You can see just how much that 6 car jumping around. Ricky's driving the tires off of it right now, but he's able to stay in front of Kyle Busch at this point in time. But when you run around the bottom of this racetrack, there's bumps in the middle of 1 and 2 and middle of 3 and 4. You have to kind of hang on and hope that whenever it lands, you see Kyle now able to make a nice run. He'll be 3 wide with the lap car there. Now he's able to fall back in.
Yeah, that was the 23 of Robert Richardson, and it forced Kyle to check up a little. Just not enough room to squeeze through. One thing we can tell you is the sun has decreased as far as a factor because a bit of cloud cover has covered it now. And so going down into turn 1, they're not looking straight into it anymore.
That has to be so unsettling. Watch that 6 car. I mean, it's never, the back tires really never hooked up. Going as fast as you go around here, it's got to be an unsettling feeling.
Yeah, when you're following somebody like that, you say, how in the world is he outrunning me? What am I doing wrong that he's driving that like that? Does mine look that bad?
Ricky goes down low. Kyle takes the high line. And here comes that momentum you were talking about.
Yeah, but you can see how much he lost right there just by going up to the top and making the racetrack just a little bit bigger. And when Ricky Stenhouse is able to kind of nail things on the bottom down in the other end, then he's able to pull away just a little bit. Ricky really likes this higher line in 1 and 2, though. He seems to get a really good run off of the corner and down the back straightaway.
Look who's sneaking up right on the back bumper of the 54. That's Casey Kane in the 38, and he's going for the spot.
Not quite going to be able to clear him here off 4 because you need all the racetrack to really make all of that work. And you can see the momentum that Kyle had is going to allow him to keep the spot for the time being.
Kyle was running that high line last night late in the truck race. The last 20 laps, if you didn't see it, Ty Dillon was in second place, and he just kept eating into the lead. And eventually Kyle brushed the wall, opened the door, and Ty scooted on by. Check in on that 54, Dave Burns.
A couple of things, Marty. One is that he radioed to his crew, throw this carburetor away. Well, they won't be able to do that until after tonight's race. They got to work with what they have there. They will be able to make chassis adjustments. His car right now very, very loose, as you saw coming off the corner there. They plan to pop a spring rubber into the left rear spring on this car, their first opportunity.
Kyle right now is 8.6 seconds behind the race leader. But he shouldn't feel too bad because second place, Ricky Stenhouse, is 7.8 seconds behind. Kevin Harvick is just destroying the field here early in this event.
Yeah, you heard about putting a spring rubber in the left rear. What that does is it helps plant that left rear, give the rear tires a little more grip. It uses that banking to load that spring up, really try to help that car drive off the corner.
So we've knocked down 40 of the 195 laps. There is your top 5 here at Atlanta. Stay with us. Welcome back to the NRA American Warrior 300 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Kevin Harvick is, shall we say, ruling the roost. He has led 28 laps. His lead right now is 11 seconds over Casey Kane. He just put Danica Patrick down. She's running a respectable 16th. That's right. Only 15 cars are on the lead lap. Danica's last lap was a 34.6. Kevin is running at 33.1. Nobody has come close to him on these lap times. We have a total of 10 cars out of this race. That gets you caught up. Let's check in with Shannon Spake.
Well, Marty, Danica Patrick started off very, very loose. It has started to snug up on her just a bit. So Tony Uri Jr., her crew chief, as well as her spotter, they're having her move around the racetrack a little bit, try different lines in different corners. That was one thing that they wanted her to work on all weekend long. Groove management was going to be key for this race for her. She had a lot of practice laps, and she's still working on it now as the race goes on.
And you heard Rusty Wallace talk about that he predicted she would go down a lap early, fight her way, try and get back on the lead lap. We'll see if she can do that. Here's some side-by-side action. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 6th, the 22 of Brad Keselowski. And Stenhouse has been slowly sliding back here, guys.
Well, I said a while ago that he was driving the wheels off of it, and I think he literally has driven the tires off of it trying to get that car around. Here's Cole Witt in, Shannon.
Cole Witt's going to bring that 88 car down pit road. He's going to take 4 tires and a track bar adjustment. As he says, he just can't drive off. The car is too tight. Air pressure and Sunoco fuel for the 88.
So he is the first to come here on lap number 48. I can also tell you that the 81 of Jason Bowles has made a pit stop. Here comes the 3 of Austin Dillon. Shannon, you're up again.
Yeah, Austin Dillon making his first nationwide start here at Atlanta, guys. He is in that points hunt, 35 points behind a first coming into this race. The car was loose, but hearing on the radio, they said no changes. They're just going to go for 4 tires on that 3 car. Got a lot of notes from his brother Ty, who won the truck race last night. The 3 is out of the pit box. Mike.
Brad Keselowski a little bit free in turn 3. They're going to try to tighten him up with an air pressure adjustment. A 4-tire change for Brad Keselowski as he tries to perfect this race car. Still looking for speed tonight. Dave?
Mike Elliott Sadler is on pit road complaining of loose race car. The right rear is gone. He said that 3 different times during this run. Richie Luke Lambert said we got just what you need. That'll be 4 fresh tires, a full load of Sunoco fuel, and an air pressure adjustment. Leader Kevin Harvick is on pit road. Harvick's car was just right, as you could tell. 4 fresh tires, full of Sunoco fuel, no changes to Harvick, who has led this race for so many laps during the first portion.
The 6th car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., they're going to make a chassis adjustment. He said it's just too tight, especially through 1 and 2. It's a 4-tire change in Sunoco fuel for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Dave.
Kyle Busch is in, Vince. He will take 4 fresh tires. They will pop that spring rubber into the left rear. Again, his car is still very, very loose, waiting for the full load of fuel, and now Kyle leaves.
The 38 of Casey Kane is in. Kane says it feels loose in the right rear, but it's tight otherwise. 4 tires. They're going to make a chassis adjustment, a half around a wedge out, air pressure out of the right rear as well. 4 fresh tires and Sunoco fuel. Dave?
Sam Hornish Jr., a strong top 10 run. Bueller has a wedge wrench in his hand. It'll go into the left rear. His race car was loose in and off the corner. He'll get 4 fresh tires and also another load of fuel, which will take him another 50 or 55 laps on this run. Marty?
Boy, you see that just poetic move down there. Those guys.
Yeah, that was kind of cool how the fueler sucked the wrench in the window. You saw the carrier come over and put his tire in there on the left rear and make the adjustment. Here comes Danica making her stop.
45 miles an hour, the pit road speed.
Tires, guys, 4 tires.
Hold me out.
Keep on coming. Keep on coming.
Shannon, she's coming your way.
Yeah, the last word from Danica Patrick was that she had no right rear to lean on. They're going to make a 4-tire change on this 7 car. She's also saying that the steering feels very sensitive while she's going through those turns. Did you see those guys going to the left side of the car? Danica Patrick making her very first start here in the Nationwide Series at Atlanta, doing double duty this weekend, so it's been a very busy day. Marty?
Good pit stop, 14.5 seconds. You notice the 22 coming out at the bottom of your screen? too fast entering. That was the pass-through.
Yeah, this is one of these, I was talking about this to start the show, how getting off the racetrack is really difficult. You don't have a lot of grip to get the car woed down, and you can see he carried a little too much speed. And he tried to make an adjustment. I watched this when he was doing it. He tried to make an adjustment to get back down to the right speed, but it was too late. He'd already crossed one of the timing lines.
Guess who else got caught speeding, entering too fast? The 38 of Casey Kane. He is doing his pass-through penalty as we speak. There he is with Mike Wallace right behind him.
So making those green flag stops on worn-out tires, you come off the banking where there's no grip to start with, and it's really hard to try to, you're trying to push the speed. You're trying to get there as quick as you can, but it's so easy to overdo it.
Bad news for the 22 as you're looking at race leader Kevin Harvick. Another penalty.
He must have sped down pit road when he was making his pass-through.
And the 38 is getting busted again.
Oh, my.
Back-to-back penalties for both of them.
4,000 all the way down.
I was going to make mention that I got caught one time. This thing is so difficult. I got caught 3 different times. Oh, doing the same thing here. So these guys are trying to catch my record.
Yeah, it was the first segment that we're talking about. That very first timing segment when you come off the track is where they're getting caught.
Yeah, it's just such a sharp angle. You go from, as I said in the opening, 180 miles an hour trying to get down to pit road speed. It's just so difficult, especially you don't want to give up that time. You know you've already lost a lot of time to the leader that's out there flying by everybody anyway.
And you see the 33 flying by Casey Kane. So Kevin Harvick, who came in with like about an 8-second lead, guess what? He now leads Kyle Busch in second place by 15 seconds. We only have 11 cars on the lead lap. Kevin's trying to make it his own private show tonight. Let's check the calendar for you because the Mac Tools U.S. Nationals, we've got qualifying at 11 a.m. and 5 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN2. And, of course, NASCAR Sprint Cup Series action from Atlanta presented by Pennzoil, 6:30 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN. And then on Labor Day, Mac Tools, the finals of the U.S. Nationals. It's noon Eastern on ESPN2. Guess what? There are now only 9 cars on the lead lap. Kevin Harvick has a 15-second lead. Casey Kane, you see him there. He is 2 laps down in 18th place after 2 speeding penalties. Take a look at the first one. We mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast how hard it is to get down on pit road.
Yeah, Casey wasn't even close. You can see this with your eye. They didn't need the timing to figure that one out.
They said he was going 70 miles an hour in a 45 zone. That gets you a ticket everywhere.
Well, they give you 5 miles an hour, so he's really only 20 of them.
Oh, okay.
The insurance goes up, though.
All right. We talked about tires also. Let's get a report from Dave Burns.
Yeah, Marty, once those guys get here, they get on 4 fresh Goodyear tires, which are smooth all the way through, except for these little indentations here called the tread wear indicators. I'm showing you Elliott Sadler's left rear here, over here, and actually I believe that is the right rear, because they are good. There is still depth to these tread wear indicators. Remember, Elliott had said, my right rear is gone. But in actuality, the tire's very good, and Luke Lambert told him so after he left pit road.
Probably didn't make him feel a whole lot better. I mean, the car's still loose. He just said it feels like the tire's gone. The tire may not be, but it can still be that loose.
Caution is out down in turn number 1 as we have 2 cars involved. Oh, man.
Oh, that's too bad for... That was Reed Sorensen having an excellent run tonight.
In that 98, you're right. He was running in the 10th position.
Yeah, he'd just gotten lapped about 2 laps ago, maybe 3. So he had stayed up inside the top 10 and doing a great job, this team.
In fact, we only have 6 cars on the lead lap as of right now. And there you see the 23 also in there. Says that's Robert Richardson. Robert was running in the 28th spot. He was shown 3 laps down at the time of the crash. Let's go back and give you an idea exactly what happened to the 98 and the 23.
It's like Casey Kane is trying to work on the low side. So Reed moves up to give him room, and there's, oh man, that's too bad right there. Just not enough room.
Yeah, I think apparently Reed's spotter might have hollered at him that Casey Kane was to the inside, or there was a car to the inside, and as he moved up, I don't think that he had any idea that he wasn't clear of the 23.
Yeah, this is the 98 team. It's a fairly new team in the series, but they're doing a great job, and tonight had a good run going. Fred Biaggi's put together this team, and shame to see him out early.
Well, we just had a round of pit stops. Does anybody come? I mean, there's only 7 cars on the lead lap right now.
Now, one thing that happened there is they were able to run that first set of tires. They were able to run it just about a full fuel load. So that kind of does help. They may be able to think about putting an extra set of tires on.
Yeah, but I don't think Harvick is going to get, well, not that he's worried about everybody else, but there would probably be a lot of waiver rounds that he doesn't even want people getting back on the lead lap.
Yeah, if he makes that stop here, he would let a lot of people come back around the racetrack.
Yeah, because he had a 16-second lead when the yellow came out. It is our 3rd caution of the day, although you see people up on the wall, and pit road is open, but none of the front leading cars took advantage. A few further back, including Kyle Busch. He's coming down pit road. We'll update you when we come back. ACC rivals square off on ESPN Monday night. Quarterback Teven Washington looks to navigate Georgia Tech against the top-ranked Virginia Tech defense. And after a stellar debut season, junior Logan Thomas has the 16th-ranked Hokies aiming for another run at the Coastal Division title. It's college football primetime. It's presented by Russell Athletic, and it's Monday at 8 on ESPN. It's also available live on Watch ESPN.
I like Tech in that one.
All right, we mentioned the fact that the 54 pulled off from second spot and took a pit stop. There were only 7 cars on the lead lap. Let's go back and show you what happened.
So Kyle's car is just not handling like he wants it to.
Hold on, do you want to just wait? Just take a second. If we're the only ones here, do you just left rear and a track bar leave these tires on it?
Nick! Hold it! Put that tire back on. Put that tire back on. Put it back on. Hurry up. Down here, put the rubber in the left rear.
Yeah, it looked like what they decided to do was change 4 tires and make this adjustment. Got to get this car handling right. They realized they're the only one of the leaders that made a pit stop, and they didn't want to use this set of tires up right now. So they decided maybe regroup and just make the adjustments, leave the tires on it that they had on it, and that way they don't use up that extra set of tires.
And they did make the adjustments in the left rear. We just didn't have a chance to show you there, and there's Mike Beam. And so the same set of tires that he came in with are still on the car. Now, we mentioned the fact that none of the other lead lap cars decided to take a pit stop, and here's the conversation with race leader Kevin Harvick.
That's only 15 green flag laps, Kevin. I think we're going to save a set of tires right here. We're fast enough where I think we'll be fine. Hey, another thing, if we stay out, all them guys always put a lap down, can't do the wave around, we got them trapped. Let's stay out. Yeah, 10-4.
The free pass will go to the 88 of Cole Witt. And he is our in-race reporter, so the strategy pins a lot of people a lap down as we only have 7 cars on the lead lap, and he's the last of that group. Let's talk to him.
Go, Dale Jarrett, you with us?
Yeah, 10-4, how you doing, Joe?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? How about your race car?
Man, it's slipping and sliding out here. That 33's fast, but you know, we're right there, close to, you know, got a solid top 10 running going, and you know, it's great for our NASCAR Bachelor's car to be running this good. And it feels good to have 2 good runs in a row. You know, we're going to try to finish it out. We're here, got the lucky dog back on the lead lap, and got some fuel, so looks pretty good. Looking forward to it, see what happens.
Have you noticed a change in the racetrack since it's cooled off quite a bit now?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. This place is slick, man, and especially as these tires wear out, it's crazy. I mean, I wish I could explain how the car drove, but I almost can't. You know, I've been telling Bruce, it's, you know, he's done a great job with the adjustments and trying to keep me positive, and, you know, I'm slipping and sliding, but so is everybody else, so hopefully we're doing it the least.
Yeah, that's what you have to remember. You're up in 7th, slipping and sliding around, so you're doing a good job of it. Hang on. Good luck to you, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so 3 of the championship contenders, Ricky Stenhouse, Sam Hornish, Elliott Sadler, they're on them.
September 10th.
Kevin Harvick is our leader here at the NRA American Warrior 300 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Alongside in the front row on the high side is the number 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Pace car pulls off. Back in row number 2, you've got Sam Hornish and Elliott Sadler, 2 of our championship contenders. And then Justin Allgaier, Kyle Busch, 5th and 6th. And you're saying, where's Austin Dillon? He is a lap down, restarting in 9th. He's got to get on his horse.
Another driver there a lap down, Denny Hamlin in that 18 car. I think we're all shocked to see that. We expected him to be up here and be a part of the mix for the win.
In fact, positions 8 through 16 are all a lap down. Then you get 2 laps down with Casey Kane in 17th, 18th Brad Keselowski also 2 down. You're on board with Brad. Sam Hornish in the 12, side by side with the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And there's Elliott going high again.
He's going high. Casey Kane trying to go between he and Kyle Busch, see if he can make that work.
Kyle tucks in. Now he goes low.
Casey Kane 2 laps down, racing among the leaders here. Got a great race car. It's just going to be hard to get 2 laps back.
Yeah, I believe they made a pit stop. I believe then they put tires on that race car when they came in there, trying to see if they can drive up and maybe get one of those laps back, because there are so many cars just a lap down. They're not going to get a free pass.
If you're tuning in
Whoa,
late,
Casey Kane sideways.
Yeah. The 38 and the 22 got busted for speeding twice. That's why they're both 2 laps down.
Now that had to take a little bit of goodie off that right rear tire anyway on Casey Kane.
Vince, you've got more on that 38?
Well, when they came in, they just topped off for fuel. They did not take tires on that last pit stop. So Kane's still working with the same set of tires, but they did take a little extra fuel.
Thanks for the update, Vince. Appreciate it. 3 of our championship contenders all up in this mix right now. But everybody is chasing Kevin Harvick.
I saw him come on pit road. If I'd have been the crew chief, I'd have got tires for the reason I was saying there, to try to see if you could drive up through there and get one of the laps back.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, they're going to have to do something unconventional to try to get it, because they're not just going to be able to take wave arounds and get it back any easy way. They're going to have to drive up past the leader at least to get one of them back.
You saw where everybody shakes out in the points right now.
Keselowski's in the exact same boat. It's just hard to overcome 2 speeding penalties in a row.
Mike, you've got more on that 22 car?
As Andy was saying, he's in the same situation as the 38 car, and as DJ alluded to, you need to do something unconventional. Unlike the 38, though, when the 22 came down pit road under that last caution, they did take 4 fresh tires, trying to use the goodie up there, trying to do something to get them back in this race. Obviously, they need a lot to happen, though.
Well, you can see him just working that wheel.
Yeah, you do it. You work hard here as a driver. I mean, it's 24 degrees of banking, and you can't say it enough about how little grip there is out there. So you really have to work. You're not ever going to get the car what you would call really good. So you're always working the steering wheel to make the most speed you possibly can.
That just looks scary. I mean, he's turned that wheel to the right going through the middle of the corner at 160.
31 of Justin Allgaier is in 6th spot. He is on the lead lap. Now the 3 of Austin Dillon and the 99 of Travis Pastrana, they're battling for position for 8th. But they are 1 lap down. How about Travis Pastrana?
This is a great run tonight for him. I mean, he is not on the lead lap, but he's racing some really good cars for these top 10 spots.
Yeah, you have to put not being on the lead lap into another perspective here tonight. He's inside the top 10, doing a great job for his first time here, because this is a tough racetrack, Vince.
And that was their goal tonight. They knew the challenge and how difficult this racetrack is, and the fact that he only has 7 races of experience. No mistakes. That's what his team said today. They were going to try to have a perfect race, let him have a perfect race, and see where they are at the end. So far, Pastrana's doing a heck of a job.
He's caught it several times. It's gotten loose on him.
I'm impressed. I mean, really impressed. He doesn't have much experience at this style of racing, and he's just really taken it on well and done a great job. You see this season, only 7 races, average finish of 21.
Battle between Stenhouse and Hornish. That's 2nd place on the racetrack. Everybody is chasing Kevin Harvick. Harvick's last 5 laps, each of them has been 0.2 of a quicker than the field. He just keeps opening it up. It's 2.6 seconds.
Yeah, the only one's running close is Brad Keselowski, who is those 2 laps down, but he's running some laps that are quicker than what Harvick is. This could all work out for him as Harvick's tires get older and Brad has the fresher tires. He may get one of those laps back by driving up there and going by Harvick.
He is trying, that's for sure. And there you see the gap, how much ground he's got to make up. And here's that battle again between Stenhouse and Hornish.
We see Sam Hornish becoming better and better each and every week in this car. So we see problems for Denny Hamlin now in this 18 car.
Caution's out.
So Denny is slow, and the caution comes out.
He's got a right rear tire down.
Yeah, it is. It's flat. And there's
part
of
of
it. So a tough break for Denny Hamlin. Hamlin was running in the 10th position, 1 lap down at the time.
Huge break for Austin Dillon, though. He's the first car that is 1 lap down.
Yeah, he managed to get back ahead of, or stay ahead of Pastrana.
This could work out for Brad Keselowski here, because I believe Kevin Harvick will come to pit road along with the other leaders this time. Could get Keselowski back with the wave around to just 1 lap down, and he's got fresh enough tires to stay out there then.
Oh, it looks like Danica Patrick caught a piece of that tire carcass.
On board with Cole Witt.
Right there's where Hamlin had the problem. There it rolls. You can see that the tread casing roll off the right rear.
Now the question is, as heat comes around, is there any damage to the front of the 7 of Danica Patrick? Mike?
And right before that happened, Marty, Denny Hamlin came over the radio saying, we've got a problem. He was just about ready to hit pit road, but the tire obviously didn't last long enough.
Not the kind of night that any of us expected for Denny Hamlin.
Still a good break for Denny. I mean, he didn't tear the car up, got a caution that he needed. And be able to make this stop under caution.
Here comes the race leaders, led by Kevin Harvick, as they come down pit road. Vince, you're up first.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. coming down pit lane. You see him on the bottom left of your screen. Justin Allgaier top left. Stenhouse, they're going to put a rubber in the left rear. It says still no right rear grip at all. And as far as the 31 of Allgaier is concerned, really tight, no side bite at all. Wedge out, track bar, 4 tires, air pressure adjustment all the way around on that. Let's go to Dave.
Third place, Sam Hornish. His car was freer than when it started. It'll be an air pressure adjustment for Sam. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. Leader Kevin Harvick, guess what? Loves the race car. No changes on the 33. 4 fresh tires.
And as you see the race off pit road, Sam Hornish was able to pick up a spot at the expense of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Elliott Sadler and Kyle Busch swap positions. And Cole Witt and Justin Allgaier swap positions. So we'll reset it for you. We'll let you know that the free pass goes to Austin Dillon. He's back on the lead lap. Back here at Atlanta, we now show 13 cars on the lead lap. We had a total of 14 wave arounds, but 6 of those cars get back on the lead lap, including Danica Patrick, and no damage. A little mark there on the front where she hit the carcass of that tire, but no damage on the car. Now, from her onboard, let's give you an idea what it looked like from the cockpit.
Well, you can tell just out of that hood buckle when she hit that piece that it hit pretty hard.
And you think, well, why didn't she dodge it? It's not as easy as just, we talk about no grip here. You can't just turn the car. You're going to spin out or crash.
Let's listen in on her radio.
We hit every other damn thing this year. We might as well hit a tire carcass, too.
Of course, that's the reference back to the shoe that got tossed out at Montreal.
Yeah, but that shoe was a little bit tougher than that tire carcass, I think.
Here it comes. It didn't really do any of the damage, but it was just the beginning of what was a disappointment. There's the piece that broke off. And then it just got a little worse. Yeah, good run going until then. Let's reset it for you. Harvick's up front. No surprise there. He's been leading for 67 of our laps. Hornish, Stenhouse, Kyle Busch, Elliott Sadler, Cole Witt. That's your top 6. And boy, Kevin's picking up right where he left off.
He's just so far been flawless on everything. Restarts and through a long run. Oh, just about perfect.
Side by side, the 12 and the 6. That's Hornish on the high side. Stenhouse down low. Look at Kyle Busch. He's taking the high lane, trying to get both of them. On board with Elliott Sadler in 5th. Whoa, got a little close there.
And you see Kyle Busch had to get out of the throttle just a little bit. That allowed Elliott Sadler with a big run on the outside to move up beside him.
And Elliott's trying to continue the momentum. sparks coming off the back of the cars. He bounced over the bumps.
Yeah, you're going to get that air pressure still down just a little bit since they came in and just put fresh tires on.
Yeah, they're running quite a bit faster on these fresher tires. That makes cars travel a lot more. That's why you see the sparks early in the run.
Look at this. 3 of your championship contenders all in the same picture, fighting for position. They are running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Kevin Harvick's been in a class of his own tonight. That was Kevin. Here comes everybody else.
Yeah, Harvick looks like he's got his cup car out here racing against him with a couple more 100 horsepower.
He's already opened up a 1.1 second lead. Oh, Elliott tries to cross over, and it may work for him. And it will.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was wanting to do by being able to get that big run off of turn 2, then get the inside position down into turn 3, which is right now the preferred line.
Try to get up there, see if he can race with his teammate, Kevin Harvick. I'm not sure he can catch him, but he's racing for 3rd. It's the best he's been all night.
Stenhouse has a little wiggle down low. And here comes Elliott.
Yeah, Sadler's making that higher groove work really well. You see how he closes in down the back straightaway. I don't think it works quite as good down in this area, but he's really trying to make this work. He's getting a nice run off of turn 4 right now, but Stenhouse is going to be able to hold him off.
For now.
Sam Hornish has dropped back a few car lengths, as you can see, and as has the 54 of Kyle Busch.
I really thought we might see Stenhouse go back to the top there to kind of break some of Sadler's momentum down in 1 and 2. But you can see the run that Elliott's getting off of that high side. The issue he's going to have now is he's not going to get clear of Stenhouse as he gets to turn 1, where he would like to be on the high side, where he's been making that nice run.
Goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Stenhouse, and he's got the momentum. And he'll hold on to the spot.
How'd you know that was going to happen?
Unfortunately, I've been in that situation too many times, and Elliott has too. He was just hoping that maybe he might get down in there far enough to where he could slide up in front of Ricky, but that didn't happen this time.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, tires were definitely going to be one of the main stories tonight. Mike Massaro, update us.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Denny Hamlin, it's not necessarily a good story. We just saw what happened. Here's the tire that came apart. Goodyear officials and his crew chief, Matt Lucas, examining it. They found a puncture in the tire. They believe that's what led to the problem. The good news is, as you look at what's remaining of the tire, the inner liner, it stayed up. And Andy and DJ, you know that's a very good thing at a track like this. It speeds close to 190 miles per hour.
Probably just as much as that it stayed up while he got to pit road and didn't tear the car up.
Denny's running 15th right now, 1 lap down. He is not in the lucky dog position. That would be the man in front of him, Brian Scott, in 14th in that number 11 ride.
Yeah, Denny complained about this car some today during practice. I know they made some changes on it, but apparently this never got it to his liking. As he, since the green flag really dropped and started this race, he's been falling back.
Well, he's got that 11 in his sights. That's the car he's got to get ahead of to get into the lucky dog position. Because I do have a feeling we probably will have another caution before this one's over. Those two continued their battle. Meanwhile, up front, it is still Kevin Harvick. He has led 77 laps of the 95 that we have completed. If you remember back in 2009, Harvick led 131 laps, and oh yeah, he won that night.
Everyone's off.
Talking about how experience would matter most. Yet two of our most experienced drivers are the ones making mistakes on pit road.
Yeah, they're sailing on pit road. They just can't get these things slowed down whatsoever. These old tires are kind of wore out. They can't get them to slow down. See Casey Kane right there. He was like 20 miles an hour too fast coming in. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you only got a 55-foot zone coming in off of pit road, so you really got to get it woed down. Casey got himself in a lot of trouble now, lost a couple laps.
Both of those drivers are currently 1 lap down, and you can join our conversation on Twitter, #PitStudio. Our Twitter handle is @NASCAR ESPN. Join our conversation. Jeff Burton did. He said this is the hardest track to get slowed down for pit road because old tires have very little grip. And grip seems to be the big conversation out there tonight. How many times have we heard drivers talk about a loose race car? Well, not Kevin Harvick, because he's out to a 6.5-second lead. He pretty much has the perfect race car.
He does have the perfect race car, and he loves this racetrack, and he understands this track. Back in 2009, he led 131 laps here to win, and that was in a different style car. That was an old Nationwide car. You know, Brad, some people like short track racing, some are good on the road course, and some have their special favorite track. Kevin, this is one of his favorite tracks because he knows what he wants his car to do, and he works until he gets it right. He's got teammates out there, Austin Dillon, he's got Elliott Sadler. They got the same exact car, but Kevin is just driving off because he knows what he wants.
And keep this in mind, Kevin Harvick is the only driver to have won at this track in all 3 series. Caution is out. Let's go to Marty.
Well, we have the caution for the 5th time, and Casey Kane with that right rear tire, you can see it is gone, and there's debris out on the racetrack. He was running 17th at the time. 2 laps down. Keep an eye on the great clips right there coming through the screen. Bam.
Looked just like Denny Hamlin's failure he had on that right rear.
Yeah, when one happens and they talk about it's a puncture that happened, when you have that second one, then you start wondering.
See, he wasn't quite as lucky as Hamlin. He's threw out some of the inner panels. Oh, no. It's going to be in front of Danica. It looks like she missed most of that debris, though.
Well, she's also going to get the lucky dog. She's going to get back on the lead lap. She'll give us 13 cars on the lead lap. So
yeah, she had just gone down a lap. She took the wave around, so she had older tires than Harvick, and Harvick got around pretty quickly to lap her, but she got her lap back here with this lucky dog.
90 laps to go. Do you want to pit? I mean, you still got to make one more stop even after this.
The last stop was lap 83. Looks like Kevin Harvick's going to kind of decide this with these leaders.
What would be your call, crew chief?
Well, what you want to do, you want to try to have a set of tires left at the end of the race. I think as good as Harvick is tonight, I believe I'd try to stay out and keep everybody else out. But if you do that and they all pit, they're going to drive around you. So.
I don't know. I'm thinking they need new tires just to keep up with him on old tires.
Yeah, they would.
Because he's literally driving away.
And he probably knows that. He'll probably come down pit road too.
That's a great point. He has dominated this race tonight. He's led 87 of the 105 laps that we have run.
It's not open yet.
We've had 4 different leaders and 4 lead changes. Those came pretty early in the race.
You're right at that limit. You know, you've run about 22 laps since they went back green, and that's about the point you want to try to get past before you get that set of tires off the car.
You know, the problem is you start using up tires, and as you were saying, don't save that set for the end. With so few cars on the lead lap, somebody has a set late, and you get that caution. Man, those tires are going to mean that it's like you're in another world.
Well, let's listen on pit strategy on the 33 radio.
I'll make sure we don't get trapped at the end with not having a set if the caution comes out late. Only way they're going to beat us. Hey, save all the gas you can, because right now we're 2 laps short from making it the rest of the way. So if you just save all you can right here, we'll be good.
Like the way they're thinking right there.
Well,
you see Kevin
if he's saving gas now, it means he's not coming in to get any.
Well, this caution's a great break for several cars. Remember we told you about the cars that got back on the lead lap on the last wave around? Travis Pastrana, Michael Annett, the 44 of Mike Bliss, the 87 of Joe Nemechek, and Danica Patrick. She'll get the lucky dog as well. They'll be able to pit.
Yeah, get some tires on those cars now, so they'll be back in good shape here. So everything worked out great for them. Nice when a plan comes together for them.
I'll tell you, it's interesting. You know, you talk about pit strategy, and it's so much more difficult in the Nationwide Series because you have that limited amount of tires, and you have to manage it properly. And at a track like this where the tire fall off is so much in speed, that it really does make it difficult. Now you can see most of the leaders stayed out. Okay. Did he make that?
Yeah, I think you have to stay right in that cone. I think Stenhouse did that. He may have lost his spot there. I'm not sure.
Well, we'll wait to see if NASCAR makes a ruling there. And those that did come in, let's check in with Vince.
Well, that 31 of Justin Allgaier says if he can get into the turn and stay off the spring, he feels good, but otherwise it's just not handling the way he wants. They're going to go down on the track bar, fuel, clean off that grill as well. Now, the 99 of Travis Pastrana says the car really has good balance. They have not made a change the last 2 pit stops as far as chassis adjustments at all are concerned. Just 4 tires for Pastrana.
And as he comes back out, he has been impressive tonight, to say the least. His 8th and final start.
And just like he took that wave around the last time, so he did not use a set of tires on the last caution. He's still got as many tires left as the leaders.
Well, let's go back and take a look at what happened as everybody sort of, well, went towards pit road from a few cars back. And here's Ricky Stenhouse.
Yeah, he was leading them down like he was going to make this. Looked like Sadler, and then Sadler saw that Sam Hornish wasn't coming. He went back out. Stenhouse decides to, but he stays in front of him, so nothing changed.
And NASCAR said they maintained pit road speed, so they get back in line. So we'll take a break and reset it for you when we come back to Atlanta.
Under our 5th caution at Atlanta, and before we go back to green, something we were talking about earlier, the battle of a loose race car and how to fix it. It's hard.
Yeah, this particular track is very hard to fix a loose car. Almost every time you come here, that's all you hear is loose, loose, loose. These Nationwide cars, the front splitter, are very dependent. I'd say 70% of the car applies in that front splitter. The back of the car is always loose, and one of the reasons, Brad, is because of the size of the corners.
Yeah, these cars are front end dominant. You see them going to the corner. Like I said, that nose gets bent going through the corner because it's so wide and sweeping. There's so much forward bite in these cars. It's hard for them to get the balance in the rear end. And you very rarely want to touch that track bar, but a lot of times these guys are moving that thing 3 or 4 inches up and down.
And I'll tell you one thing, Brad. When I was a team owner and watched some of the cars make these adjustments, they would drop that track bar sometimes 3 and 4 inches, and the driver would say, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the drivers would say, I'm not feeling anything. They would take spring rubbers out. They're not feeling nothing. Air pressure adjustments. Sometimes the car is just numb. And this is one of the racetracks where they always had those problems. But that front splitter on a Nationwide car is very important. And these cars right here are notoriously loose cars.
Yes.
85 laps to go. Kevin Harvick has laid down one of the most dominant performances of the season. Gut, what is it telling you? Does anyone have anything for that 33?
No. Absolutely not. Kevin Harvick is in a league of his own. But like Dale Jarrett said, someone's got to do something. Take a chance, put some tires on when he doesn't. Try to get in front of him. They got to outrun him.
You agree with that?
I do agree with it. Well said, Brad.
The weekend of racing continues with the Mac Tools USA Nationals qualifying at 11 a.m. and 5 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on ESPN2. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Atlanta presented by Pennzoil tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. And, of course, the Mac Tools US Nationals, noon Eastern Monday on ESPN2. It is a big Labor Day weekend of racing, Marty.
Cars on the lead lap, and you documented very well, Kevin Harvick. It's been his show, but the championship, Stenhouse, Hornish, Sadler, Dillon, they are all right in this mix within the top 6 starting positions. There you can see they're all in the first 3 rows, and this is going to get good. Pace car pulls off. Harvick has the low side, Stenhouse alongside. Green flag flies. Here we go.
Stenhouse just have a hard time getting going on that outside. Just trying to anticipate when the leader's going to take off, and you spin the tires. Looks like Stenhouse is going to lose a couple of spots maybe.
Could get up all the way back to 4th. See if he can carry the momentum. 3 wide back in the field. That was Danica Patrick getting awfully close to the wall. But look at Harvick. He's just been amazing. There's Travis Pastrana doing a nice job, as we pointed out, running on the lead lap.
Yeah, he's got a little fresher tires here, too, so he should look really good among these cars like Austin Dillon. He's got a few laps on his tires.
And the 22 of Brad Keselowski also has fresh tires. He is now in the lucky dog position if we get another caution. Remember, he was 2 laps down. Now he's 1 down.
Yeah, that's important that Brad's in that spot for a little while here. It'll take Harvick some time. You can see those fresh tires that Keselowski has on. He's just able to slice and dice his way through this.
Just kicked a field goal between the 88 and the 3. It was good.
Casey Kane's car is still fast. He just laps down now.
Casey 3 laps down in 23rd, Andy.
And Keselowski will be able to pass a number of these cars, maybe all the way up through second spot, but he's going to have even a difficult time. As you can see, he's still making a lot of progress, but even getting to that 33 car, they got, I don't know if that's a sponsor on the side of that car or if that's just what they decided that car was going to be, but Bad Boy is the right name for sure. He is bad tonight.
Keselowski, as you saw, got around Kyle Busch, not for position, but Brad trying to work his way back to the lead lap. Sam Hornish, Casey Kane. Kane on those fresher tires.
You know, Ricky Stenhouse and Elliott Sadler running second and third as they battle for that second spot right now. They're running really good lap times, especially in comparison to the rest of the field. But Harvick's just in another league. He is literally 2 to 3 tenths of a second faster each and every lap.
At a minimum. I mean, it's been up to half a second to 7 tenths a lap as they run.
How frustrating is that? Look up there in the top of the picture. That was the race leader off in the distance.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen the in-car cameras, these other guys trying to wheel these things around here. We've seen Ricky Stenhouse sideways through the corners trying to make it happen, and he's losing time every single lap.
Like Keselowski, he's trying to right that wrong of 2 speeding penalties.
Yeah, and I know he's in traffic right now, but just in comparison, he's got on those fresher tires. He was only 7/100ths of a second faster the previous lap than what Kevin Harvick was.
He may not need a lucky dog if he can reel in Harvick. Let's get more on the 22.
And Marty, that's kind of what Brad's thinking right now. He just radioed in saying, look, I've got to keep an eye on the 33 right now in case he laps the 7 and puts Danica Patrick a lap down. In that case, well, the 22 wouldn't be the lucky dog at that point. So Brad knows he's going to try to take things under his own control and control his own destiny by perhaps going past the 33.
And you can see right there his last lap was quicker than our race leaders.
Yeah, that equates to about 3 tenths of a second quicker than what Kevin Harvick ran.
By the way, if you're interested, Danica Patrick, she is the last car in the lead lap. She is 9 seconds behind the race leader right now.
It'll be a long time before Harvick gets back to her. She's also got pressure tires.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make. It's not like this time or last time whenever she had those older tires, got lapped so quickly, and we have a caution.
Caution on the racetrack. It will be checking around. Don't see it. Oh, there it is, the 14 of Eric McClure, and he looks like he has scraped the wall.
How much damage we got?
We got some pretty good damage. A fair amount. It pulled the tire down too when I hit it.
This is the break that Brad Keselowski was looking for. That will put him back on the lead lap. Eric was running 25th, 3 laps down when this happened.
We talk about these cars being able to run up against the wall, and it's still a fine line up there. Yeah, you don't have far to go if you make a slight mistake till you're in the wall. And then a lot of things happen from there. It messes up the body, takes the tire down with it, so a lot of things happen. It's fun to run up there, but not much room for error.
So with Brad getting back on the lead lap, that'll give us 14 cars back on that lead lap.
And the good thing for Brad is he doesn't have a lot of laps on those tires, so he's going to be able to still make some time to pass some of those cars, same cars that he just got finished passing. As long as he doesn't have to make another green flag pit stop and get on pit road, he might be okay tonight. They gave him a problem twice.
I think he may have figured it out by now.
We'll have to see.
We saw Harvick trying to save fuel. Does he stay in that mode right now, or does this sort of put him in that window?
He's had quite a few caution flag laps, but he's been 35 laps since they last pitted. It's another difficult decision to make, because if you want to, I mean, the idea here is to try to keep an extra set of tires from inside your fuel window.
We just heard one radio saying 4 tires and fuel, and you saw Ricky Stenhouse's crew. And
I'm not surprised they did last time.
We're being told that was Harvick's radio, so they are loading up. This championship battle has been so interesting tonight with all of the contenders being on the lead lap. And here they come. Harvick leads them down. Vince, we're going to send it your way first.
The changes that Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s crew have made have not had a positive impact on the car. Still 5-3 on a scale of 1 to 10, so a bigger swing this time. 2 rounds down on the track bar, 2 rounds of wedge in the left rear, 4 tires for Ricky Stenhouse. Shannon?
Austin Dillon started this race very loose. The car is very, very good right now. It's going to be a 4-tire change for the 3-car bottom left. Dave?
Sadler said your adjustments are working, so keep them coming. Still just a little bit loose. 4 tires. Leader Kevin Harvick already 4 tires. His car went a tick to the loose side. They added air pressure to the right front and the left rear.
And the best pit stop turned in by Austin Dillon's crew. He picks up 3 positions, comes right out behind Harvick. And you see how everybody else fares. Now you're wondering who's the race leader? Well, the car that stayed out was the 99. Travis Pastrana. He's going to lead. It is Nationwide Career. And he's driven a nice race tonight as well. Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, 73 laps to go. And Travis Pastrana, for the first time in his career, is going to be the leader in a NASCAR Nationwide race. Let's listen to his radio.
Well, it feels pretty cool. We'll see what happens. Thanks, guys, for putting us here, even though I know it's kind of a pit strategy thing, but I'll take it. That's the first.
It is a first. Congratulations. Now all I have to do is hold on to it. You saw also that Brian Scott took the wave around. That'll give us 15 cars on the lead lap. Casey Kane took the wave around. He's still now 2 laps down. So beside Pastrana, it's Michael Annett up front. Then it's Bliss and Nemechek in row 2. Then race leader most of the night is Harvick and Austin Dillon. And now the lights are back on the pace car. Oh, now we're being told that the 11 of Brian Scott was not a wave around. While we've got a chance, let's listen in some more on Travis Pastrana.
I can fire in between the 2 lines that are back there, right? I heard this in driver's meeting all the time. I just never actually had to do it.
Oh, that's pretty funny. But you get yourself in that position. I'm just questioning him starting on the outside. I guess he knows he could start on the inside if he chose to, but we haven't seen anybody take that to start on the outside.
It's the first time tonight, so we'll find out if it pays any dividends. There are the restart lines. The race leader can go anytime between the double stripe and the single stripe.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on that and choosing which side. I think the leader, as I said earlier, has such an advantage because you know when you're going to go, and especially with 3 other cars up there that have.
We didn't really think we needed to talk about. I thought I was prepared.
He's having a ball with this.
Oh, and he should be. But I do think that the leader has such an advantage because he's going to be able to go, and it's hard to anticipate when you're that second-place car. And so I don't know that it's really going to make any difference which lane. He should be able to get to the bottom.
Now they have added another lap. I got to be honest, don't know the exact reason why. We'll try and track it down for you. But as you can see in that shot on the right side of your screen, there's the 33 of Kevin Harvick. He has led 102 laps tonight. There have been 5 different leaders, 5 lead changes. And we can tell you there are now 14 cars that are either behind the wall or out of this race. Now, Kevin Harvick failed to win the last 7 races after leading the most laps. And as we mentioned, he has led the most by a ton tonight. Second on the hit parade would be Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who has led all of 15 laps. We've still got some time. So let's have some more fun with this 99 bunch. How about it, Vince?
With Scott Zipadelli, the crew chief for Travis Pastrana. Okay, your man's out front. A little different position for him, but what do you expect from him here, and what do you want to see him do?
Well, we can go about another 35 laps on fuel, and we've got 1 more set of tires. We had to pit earlier than they did. I don't really want to be right here right now. Harvick, the 33, is really fast, but Travis is doing a great job in a Boost Mobile Toyota Camry. Everybody RAB with Brack Maggart, all the support from Toyota, and it's been an awesome day from the time we unloaded the truck. So we got a good solid top 10 car. If we can stay in the top 5, 5th through 10th, and ride it out to our last stop, we'll be really happy.
Assess the job he's done tonight.
Phenomenal. We're just so pleased. The whole team's done an awesome job. We've had good cars all year. It's just everything's coming together. Travis is more confident in the car. Working together has been better, and it's been a pleasure to work with him, and we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, just 7 races in, guys. Imagine what Pastrana would do if he had a full season in him.
Great point, Vince. They've added another lap, and the problem we're having here, folks, is it's about Brian Scott and the 11. They were arguing that they were eligible for the wave around, and they have said no, stop, and wait. He was behind the 99 of Travis Pastrana at the time the caution came out. So Travis, being the race leader, he could not take the wave around.
They're saying we weren't ahead of the 9-9 and that we didn't get the wave around. Oh, my God, please, please.
Obviously, they disagree.
Usually 2 sides to every story, and this one certainly has one.
Yeah, I don't know which side's going to win, though.
Yeah. All right, we talked about Kevin Harvick and how dominant his car is. Let's hear from his crew chief, Dave.
And to say the least, Ernie Cope has gotten Kevin Harvick in the right direction here. On even tires, let's say after this last pit stop, can anybody hang with Kevin?
I don't know. The 22 looks like he's strong. So until we all get on even tires, I'm not sure.
You made a small adjustment on the last pit stop. You think that's going to be all that he needs as far as changing the car goes?
I hope so. I mean, this is the first time we've done anything, just real small air pressure adjustment. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
All right, they're still watching it down here. They haven't won yet, but they've led a lot tonight, guys.
All right, as we get ready to go, the lights are now out on the pace car again. And on that front row, we haven't talked enough about Michael Annett. This young man, in his last 11 races, only once outside the top 11. He has 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s. The 28th place run at Montreal was the one aberration. And here he finds himself getting ready to restart in the number 2 position.
Yeah, he's been very solid all year long, right from Daytona. See what he can do in this restart.
Green flag's out. Travis gets it underway, and he may have the lead going into 1, but here comes Harvick. Oh, my, that 33 is a rocket ship, and Stenhouse trying to follow. Boy, that is just amazing. I don't care which way you slice it.
You thought he'd have the lead by turn 3, dude.
Yeah, I was right, and you were too, because you said he'd have it down in 1, so I think we both got it right. But wow,
that car's just unstoppable tonight.
3 wide. They come back towards start finish.
Now, I know what they had to do with Travis Pastrana here. Boy, it really puts him in a difficult situation with a car on older tires and all of these cars that are faster than him that have fresher tires also.
Travis trying to stay down low. Now he's in the middle of the racetrack. Here you see Cole Witt going by. You're on board now with Elliott Sadler, who's running 8th.
Sam Hornick's got down there. I'm not sure he knew that Kyle Busch was diving into turn 3 right there, but they were able to make it through.
Austin Dillon has cleared the 99. Here comes Hornish on the high side. And it looks like he will now clear. So now it's Elliott Sadler trying to figure out which way does he go.
Yeah, Elliott knows he's got to go right now. He's got these fresh tires, and he sees all of these other cars that have fresh tires also kind of getting away from him. He's losing touch with that first grip.
And it would have an effect on the championship. As you continue to watch, there is the 12 and the 3.
Austin Dillon, big run on the top side, though.
And you're right. Austin gets past the 88 of Cole Witt.
It's been an impressive night for that 3 car because he lost a lap early and was able to get it back, and they worked on the car. Had a great pit stop. His crew really did the job that last time, getting him a few spots on pit road. It's looks like he's paying it off for him.
While we're watching all this great action, just got to note, the 33 Kevin Harvick just ran his fastest lap of the race on lap 128.
Well, I guess that small air pressure adjustment really made a difference. Like he needed to go faster.
Goodness. How about Cole Witt? He's running in 4th place right now. We can tell you the 38 of Casey Kane has now had to come down pit road. He'll lose a lap. He'll end up being 3 laps down again. Not the kind of night they were hoping for. Meanwhile, Cole Witt is giving the 2 of Elliott Sadler some fits.
Yeah, Sadler was able to at least make a run here, though. He's really utilizing this top side. So he's starting to move back forward. These cars that got away from him a little bit on the restart. And when you're the points leader, the last thing you want to do, you know that you've got 4 cars up there that didn't pit on older tires. Things are going to get a little bit crazy. I know Elliott, the way he thinks a lot, I'm sure that he was just being a little bit careful to make sure that he didn't get in any trouble on that restart.
Well, if you're thinking about the championship, it is very interesting because Stenhouse is running second, Austin Dillon third, Elliott Sadler in fourth, Sam Hornish Jr. is in sixth right now.
Yeah, we could have them running second, third, fourth, and fifth here in just a minute. I think Sam Hornish will probably go by Cole Witt here in just a minute, although Cole Witt's doing a nice job tonight.
You see what it could do to the points as they were running, but we still have 63 laps to go tonight. There is your race leader, Kevin Harvick. He is in another zip code tonight. It has been glued to the racetrack on a track that doesn't normally have much glue in it.
Yeah, and of course, as we talked about experience and Cup drivers winning the last 9 of these races, but how impressive is it that our 4 championship contenders are right there in the top 6? I think that speaks volumes for how competitive they are and the type of drivers that we have battling for this championship.
That is a great point. And there you go. Another close shot of those two going after each other. Austin Dillon in front of the 2 of Elliott Sadler. And everybody is chasing Kevin Harvick. Harvick has a win in each of the top 3 series here at Atlanta. Only driver to do so. And here's the interesting thing. Harvick's truck and nationwide wins were both with Ernie Cope. Let's go back and show you the restart as we go to break and watch him pass everybody. Go along for the ride.
Where the wind blows, baby, I'll be riding how it is, holding on for my dear life just like I always did. Close your
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Atlanta is brought to you by Kingsford Charcoal. Which school tailgates the best? Vote at Tailgate Rivalries on ESPN.com/Kingsford and up your grilling game with Kingsford Charcoal.
That was a beautiful view of downtown Atlanta, and there is the Atlanta Motor Speedway with 54 laps to go in tonight's NASCAR Nationwide event. The 38 car has headed for the garage, the 17th car to go behind the wall tonight. The race leader is Kevin Harvick. He has led a dominating 117 laps. Let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance and start it off, Dave Burns.
And Marty, earlier, Rusty Wallace talked about how Kevin is so good here because he knows what he wants on his race car. But that goes for the crew chief driver relationship as well. Ernie Cope has worked with several drivers this year on this car. This is the one he knows best. And he knows what Kevin wants. He knows how to put it on the race car. And their partnership in speed has gone back a long way. Vince Welch.
Second place is Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the defending series champion. But as far as Stenhouse is concerned, they've made no ground up tonight because he says they just can't get the balance of the car right. Fighting loose, made big changes last pit stop, but Stenhouse says it feels like they've made no changes at all. Shannon?
Well, tonight has been a complete team effort for the 3 car of Austin Dillon. You saw the last pit stop. His guys got him 3 extra positions on pit road. His crew chief, Danny Stockman, has made all of the right calls at the start of the race. This car was so loose, he said the right rear was driving it. They have made slow changes, and now he says the car is great. Remember, he got the lucky dog on lap 83. Dave?
Atlanta has not been the best track for our points leader, Elliott Sadler. In fact, until tonight, his best finish in any NASCAR series was 6th in the Cup Series back in 2003. Still complaining that his car is getting looser and quickly looser this run. Shannon?
A great night for Cole Witt. He's coming off that 6th place finish last week at Bristol. He is currently holding down the 5th spot. To prepare for this race, he went back and watched some in-car cameras of some of the past drivers of this junior motorsports team. One of those guys, Jamie McMurray, who won this race in 2010. Dave?
Kyle Busch currently running behind him, and Kyle running in the 6th position right now, describing his car right now as pathetic. They need to do something to give him a little bit more speed here. He finished 2nd in the truck race last night, complaining that the equipment was a little bit too old that he ran. tonight, that's a brand new race car, and they're still having some trouble for Kyle in Atlanta. He just got by Sam Hornish Jr., who's having a good run. Again, Sam has been loose most of the evening. The real high point for them, and he's complimented them on it, pit stops. They have had very strong pit stops, picking up positions on pit road, and that's helped the 12 maintain this top 10 position. Vince?
The 31 of Justin Allgaier is running 8th. Allgaier, the only driver in the Nationwide Series to finish top 10 in all the mile-and-a-half races this season. Right now, though, the car is just too loose. They've been fighting that throughout the course of the day. They've made some adjustments to it, put a rubber in the right rear on that last stop, but they just can't find the balance in it right now. Now, the 99 of Travis Pastrana, we talked a lot about Pastrana tonight and how well he has done. This is just his 7th race in the Nationwide Series, or his 8th race in the Nationwide Series, and it is the final race that he is scheduled to run this season. So far, he's been able to keep it on the lead lap. That's been their goal tonight. Wow, how about that? Looking like a little rally ride right there for Pastrana. Mike.
Despite falling down 2 laps early because of a sequence of pit road penalties, Brad Keselowski has remained focused and poised, has not lost his composure one bit, and has made his way all the way back to the lead lap and is fighting inside the top 10. He's been rather quiet on the radio lately, only wanting to know the speeds of the leaders, Shannon.
Michael Annett currently running 11th. They spent the practice session today as a test session for upcoming mile-and-a-halfs, and what they tried did not work. So they went back to their standard intermediate program, but it used up all their tires, so really had no idea how this car would react once the green flag dropped. It's been a little bit loose, but other than that, he is hanging tight 11th right now. Mike?
Mike Bliss, a similar story to what you just said, Shannon, about Michael Annett. Talking to him before the race, he had no idea what to expect out of his race car. Practice conditions not like what they're experiencing in the race. He was lacking grip during practice. Right now, relatively happy with his race car, although he said it could be a little bit more free, still a little bit tight. Behind him, Joe Nemechek, talking with his crew chief, Gary Cogswell, this morning. He was optimistic. Thought this race was more of an old school type of race, something that Joe Nemechek is very familiar with. He knows how to manage his tires and expected that they would have a good run tonight. That has been the case. They've been good in turns 3 and 4, just a little bit loose in 1 and 2, Shannon.
Danica Patrick still on the lead lap, but it really has been a struggle for her in this race tonight. The car has been very loose, and her crew chief, Tony Uri Jr., told me this track would be one of the top 5 toughest racetracks for her to handle. They have made major changes. They put 1.5 spring rubbers in the left. They took 1 out of the right. She's still saying she's loose, but the car is starting to snug up just a little bit. Marty?
And she is the last car on the lead lap on 14th position, and about another second behind her, you'll see the race leader. There comes Kevin Harvick, so she's in jeopardy of going down 1 lap. Again, we have 45 laps to go, and as we head to commercial break, I want to show you that great save by Travis Pastrana. Yeah, he knows how to slide. Nice save, Travis. Has been a problem for 2 cars, especially the 22 and the 38. Keselowski and Kasey Kahne both got busted twice. Keselowski was able to get back on the lead lap. Kahne is behind the wall. Kyle Busch, well, they had problems, but it was under caution. There was a little mix-up on communication, and they got back out. He's on the lead lap. Problems for Denny Hamlin when he lost a tire. Danica Patrick runs over it, but no harm. And she's still out there. And Travis Pastrana makes history as he leads for the first time in his Nationwide Series career. He's still on the lead lap, shown in 9th position. Kevin Harvick is the leader by 9.3 seconds over Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Elliott Sadler is 3rd. Austin Dillon 4th. And you're wondering, Sam Hornish Jr., the other contender for the championship, he is running in 7th. All cars on the lead lap. Mike Massaro has caught up with a disappointed Kasey Kahne.
Yeah, and a frustrating night finally comes to an end for Kasey Kahne. What ultimately ended it for you?
Just too many mistakes. I made plenty throughout the race, speeding a couple of times, and they gave me a great car tonight. The great Clip Chevrolet was fast from the start. We made a nice adjustment there, the first stop, a great pit stop, and then I just started taking over from there and finally finished it for us. So it was a rough night, but the whole Turner Motorsports team did a really nice job. Trent did a great job crew chiefing, and I just made too many mistakes, so we'll have to figure that out and quit it.
Thanks for your time.
All right.
Good news is, Marty, talking with Kasey, says he's got a real good car for tomorrow night.
And as you were finishing up, Elliott Sadler got around Austin Dillon, so moved Sadler into the 3rd spot. Austin Dillon now in 4th. Cole Witt is still running in 5th, so that rounds out your top 5. Everybody's chasing Kevin Harvick. Now, he only has 1 top 10 in his last 9 Cup races, and my question to both of you, does this kind of performance help him tomorrow?
Absolutely does. I'm a firm believer in that, just because of the momentum and the positive energy you carry out of a night like this. It can't do anything but help.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that it certainly can't hurt anything. Yeah, confidence is a wonderful thing, as we see Cole Witt up here in 5th after a solid run last week. So that does amazing things to a driver and what you're able to do with a race car.
Kevin has 40 laps on this set of tires and this fuel run. When do you want to pit there, crew chief?
Well, you're going to run it down here just as long as you can on this fuel, because what you don't want to do is pit too early. Somebody else stays out there and pits late and has a lot fresher tires at the end. The only way they're going to lose this thing is if somebody is able to have some fresher tires on a late restart. I try to run this thing as long as I could, and as fast as this car is, I don't see any reason to try not to stretch it here.
That was Michael Annett on pit road. As you saw, there is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. now 10.2 seconds behind. That's Danica Patrick. She is now a lap down, and she shouldn't feel bad. There's only 10 cars on the lead lap. Mike Bliss has now joined her in that group, and Travis Pastrana will be joining soon as Kevin Harvick continues his march through Georgia.
We should run about 10 more laps before we see Harvick and the rest of the leaders make those green flag stop.
Yeah, and on that first green flag run that we did, where Harvick waited pretty much till everybody else got on pit road, so it's not like he's got issues with tires or fuel and being able to go as far as he wants to.
Mike Bliss and the 99, and
you got a flat, hit the fence, is that what happened?
You can see Pastrana got a little too close to the outside fence. And he is on pit road. Let's go back and show you what happened.
Really looks like that he might have a tire going down there. That car just never did turn, so it looks like maybe the right front was going down a little bit there.
They got a ton of damage up there. They're having a hard time getting the tire off.
Yeah, this is going to be a disappointment for him because he had run so well. We've got 32 laps to go when Travis had this issue, and meanwhile, the 33 car we were talking about during the break, they haven't had any issues at all.
No issues for them. Back to 99, just say they'd been out there a long time on that set of tires, so it could have been the situation that a little too much camber, they might have worn it out on the inside or something like that. Yeah.
May not have blown out, but he could have gotten it down into the cord and just took off on it.
Well, look at Harvick all night. He's just had that left front and that splitter down off inside the yellow line on the bottom of the racetrack. And well, he really makes it work with these cars.
It's almost like he's found a way to hook the left front down below that line, and just makes the car go around the corner so much quicker. And I've seen him do this before. The other time he dominated, we talked about it was 2009. His car did exactly the same thing. He was able to just hook that left front and go.
Well, we always like to find out what everybody's thinking about out there in the social media. Here's Rodney Childers, crew chief on the 55, and I think it's safe to say that the 29 car and Kevin Harvick will be really strong tomorrow night. He has put a whooping on everyone.
Well, it looks like Rodney Childers thinks that there's some momentum carryover from tonight's race over till tomorrow night.
I mean, just look. Now, remember when we saw Brad Keselowski and he was hacksawing that wheel just to keep his momentum? Kevin's just, it's like a Saturday night drive.
Yeah, the only time you see him really moving the wheel is through the bumps there, but he's able to get that left front, as Andy was talking about, down. Then he drives so straight off the corner that he's not having to move the wheel.
That was the gap we just showed you when Harvick went through and all those other cars, and there's Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 10.9 seconds behind.
Well, he's chasing a loose car now, too.
Now, Ricky's got a sizable margin over third place, a couple of seconds to Elliott Sadler, and there is Austin Dillon right behind Elliott.
All three of these guys, Stenhouse, Sadler, and Dillon, they're having very solid nights. They're sitting there outrunning people like Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. But they've just got one of those Cup drivers that's just unbelievable. But as we ride along with Austin Dillon here, solid night for him so far, Shannon.
Yeah, Dale, so I told you this is Austin Dillon's very first nationwide start here. Well, when he got passed by Elliott Sadler, his crew came over the radio and said, copy his line exactly. Line for line, throughout the entire racetrack and try to hunt him down. Remember, these guys are not only teammates, but they are also going for the championship. So you can watch Austin. He is trying to follow that line exactly.
That's a good learning experience for him to see. You know, Elliott had fallen back from Austin a little bit, and I think that was probably experience of not using up too much of his tires. But I've seen Austin now that once he lost that position to Elliott Sadler, that he's able to kind of keep up with Elliott and, you know, see what he was doing to maybe save his tires a little bit more. And he'll just put this in his memory bank and be better the next time he comes here. Doing a great job tonight.
Sometimes it's easier said than done, though, to try to follow somebody else's line. Well, their car could be handling a lot different than yours.
Richard Childress was very emotional last night when grandson Ty Dillon won his first Truck Series race. He's in great position right now because not only is Austin doing well, but he's leading with Kevin Harvick, and Harvick has 32 of his 37 wins driving for RCR. And the 54 has come down pit road. There's Kyle Busch, and here comes the 33 of Kevin Harvick for his final stop. Dave?
Well, on Kyle, they're basically looking around the car and saying, where haven't we worked on this thing yet? And so any adjustments here, you see the wedge wrench going in, that will be a wedge adjustment, are really just trying to find some sort of handle for Kyle. Meanwhile, for Kevin Harvick, much, much better. This car doesn't need any adjustments. He just wants those fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles before the end of this race. He's going to get enough fuel to make it to the end. The crew has been spot on so far tonight. As they work to the left side, they'll try to get the leader back out cleanly. Vince?
The 6 of Ricky Stenhouse, they've been looking for the sweet spot of the balance of this race car all night long. Haven't found it. They're going to make another chassis adjustment. 4 tire change and Sunoco fuel for Stenhouse. Dave?
Chassis adjustment for Elliott Sadler, 4 fresh tires. Sadler saying his car is loose still on this run, and he's out of pit road.
So a lot of the front runners now make their stops and make their way back out. Now keep this in mind, the 33 had a 12.3 second lead when he started his entry into pit road, and boy, you saw, looked like Sam Hornish, yes it was, lighting up the tires trying to slow down. We'll have to see if he made it.
We used all of it up getting in there.
Shannon?
Well, Cole Witt says the car is loose, but still fast. That's a good thing. He's going to come down pit road. That 88 you see the guys working on, it's going to be a 4-tire change for Cole Witt, who's had been just a tremendous night here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Dave?
Sam Hornish not happy with his race car. Down on the track bar, 2 full rounds. Sam saying, I don't feel like the race car is in the racetrack at all. Let's try track bar this time. 4 tires and he leaves.
On the right side of your screen is Justin Allgaier, our 6th different leader tonight, as he still has a stop in his future. Now we mentioned Sam Hornish Jr. coming down pit road and having a hard time on the entry, as we have seen several times. Let's go back and show you and see if he made it.
Oh man, is he on the
He had it locked up.
Yeah, that's too fast in there. Yes.
And yes, he is going to have to serve the drive-through, as that's going to really hurt Sam, as he will fall off the lead lap.
Yeah, Hornish is coming down pit road right now, and you really have to make sure that you don't slide the tires, because that's the ones you're going to finish the race on.
Man, look at Elliott Sadler's car just take off.
Yeah, they had a really slow stop apparently, because the 3 car of Austin Dillon, who came in behind Elliott Sadler, went out in front of him, and Kyle Busch was quite a ways behind Elliott Sadler. So
Travis Pastrana back out, but he still looks like he may have some issues. There's a lot of sparks out the back.
Oh, he's got issues. I mean, he pounded that ball. See, he's got his hand out the window. Telling everybody he's coming in.
Left tire, guys. I can't drive it.
No, you heard
bring you to us. Get your wedge wrench. We need to raise the front of the car.
So a tough break for Travis, as he had a very strong run going. Justin Allgaier continues to be the race leader. His lead over Brad Keselowski, 7.5 seconds. And remember, Keselowski fought his way back from 2 laps down to put himself in this position. But again, those two still have to make one more stop. And guess who's lurking in 3rd? Kevin Harvick.
You got to do something different. I mean, Harvick's been wearing everybody out. Jimmy Elledge, I'm sure, is thinking with Allgaier, as he can just tick these laps on down, and the caution comes out. He comes in and gets fresh tires, and he can he'll have to start behind him, but he'll have a lot quicker car.
There you see Harvick, his last lap compared to the leaders, 10 miles an hour difference.
Yeah, it's worth a lot, these new tires are. And this is the kind of thing you'll see, though, if they can run about 10 more laps, a lot of this speed's going to be gone off these tires for Harvick. And Allgaier will be able to put on new tires. Maybe he can drive up there and pass him.
Well, we've got 19 laps to go, and if anybody is out there looking for a caution, we can tell you the final green flag stretch has been 23 laps or less in 7 of the last 9 Atlanta races. But I don't think it makes any difference. Even on the restart, Kevin has not been beaten.
Yeah, I'm not
been out front.
I'm not sure anybody can pass him. I don't care what kind of tires you got tonight.
Allgaier knocks down another lap. His lap time 33.7 seconds. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. went 32.2 seconds. Just to give you an idea of the difference. There you see Denny Hamlin in the 18. Now he is 1 lap down, shown in 10th position.
Allgaier last pitted on lap 120. We're at 177, coming up to 178. I gotta think he's getting pretty close on fuel.
And it looks like Denny Hamlin is turning down pit road and lights the tires up, trying to make the entry. With 17 laps to go, he's got to be on fumes.
He's definitely at the end of it. They had a lot of caution laps in this last round. If you remember, they had a little hard time getting the field set, so they ran quite a few caution laps.
Of course, the 31 last week had the tough break at Bristol, as ended up finishing.
Those tires are gone from Allgaier.
And there's Danica Patrick as she is making her stop. She peels off at 9th position.
Yeah, she might have been close to speeding on her entry to pit road also.
Let's send it to Shannon Spake.
Well, Danica Patrick still battling a loose race car. That's been the story of her race the entire night. Bringing it down pit road. It is going to be a 4-tire change for the 7 car. You don't see a wrench in the back window, so it doesn't look like there's going to be a chassis adjustment on this pit stop, but it is going to be 4 tires for Danica.
And Justin Allgaier continues to motor out there on the track. His lead over Kevin Harvick, who has gotten around Brad Keselowski, is 4.5 seconds. Now let's go back and show you Danica's entry to pit road, because we were wondering if maybe she was going to get caught for speeding. You're on board.
4,000. Come on down. Come on down. Give it up. Give it up.
Now she did light up the tires a little bit, but
good. 4,000. 4 tires, guys.
She made it. She got it down.
Yeah, just missed the cone too, so everything's good. That's the way you've got to come in.
And we are being told that the 18 of Denny Hamlin will get a penalty for too fast entering. So a tough break for Denny, and the night has not gone anywhere close to what he was anticipating. And I still can't believe Allgaier is still out there.
Yeah, what he's looking for is a caution flag. If he gets it right now, he'll be able to get some tires on that thing and pass a lot of cars. Right now, there's only 8 cars on the league lap. That's Jimmy Elder. He's not afraid to roll the dice on strategy.
Of course, they rolled the dice pretty well. Back in Montreal, it worked out for him. Caution is out. Our 7th caution of the night.
Yeah, baby.
And there is debris down in turn number 1.
It couldn't have worked out any better.
Yeah, I don't know that it'll pay off for him, but
well, he's going. I'm sure there's some cars that he's going to be able to pass.
Oh, he'll pass a bunch of them. I don't know if he'll get to Harvick.
Yeah, probably get up to inside the top 5. And that's better than they've run all night.
Well, the trend continues. We mentioned just a few laps ago that final green flag stretch, and here we go with a caution late here.
I watched everybody start making those green flag stops. I thought, well, I wonder if somebody will try to stretch it a little bit and try to do something different. And I picked out this 31 as being somebody that's not afraid to do that.
Yeah, and the other one that has tires left, I believe, is Brad Keselowski in 3rd. He'll be able to come get those. Now, he has a fast race car also.
Mentioned Brad. There he is.
He's on the 8th.
He's running low on fuel.
Yeah, I think the 31's also low on fuel. He'd be lucky if he gets around here. Not sure it was running.
What's that just came off?
Water bottle.
Yeah, I think it's his water bottle out.
Okay.
Now that could get you in trouble.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you see people do it all the time.
Well,
but it's usually after a caution flag pit stop.
Yeah. It's not when you need no caution.
Oh, he did need one.
Yep, you're right about that.
Okay, so sports fans, stay tuned because we're about to find out what's going to happen.
He was trying to get it on the apron. He was just going a little fast. Didn't get it there.
Well, there's Allgaier.
Like his car, he's still running. I thought I heard he may have shut it off to try to save fuel.
I think he was because he's on fumes, and here he comes. Pit road is open. Miles an hour. Justin is heading towards his pit and towards Vince Welch.
And Allgaier was shutting it off because they were 2 laps away from coming into the pit. The yellow came perfectly. No chassis adjustments or any changes, just 4 fresh tires and a little bit of fuel. Mike?
Brad Keselowski on pit road. His tires were very worn and his fuel was very low. They'll fill it up with Sunoco race fuel and bolt on the last set of stickers for the 22.
And we should point out, we have heard from NASCAR that the debris was not the water bottle, so it's not an issue. There will be no penalty. And
it works out for both of them then.
The free pass will go to Michael Annett. That will put 9 cars back on the lead lap. That's right, just 9. And it's going to get interesting because guess who is back in front? Kevin Harvick, the dominator tonight in Atlanta. Before we go back to green flag racing, let's show you the ticket to the race because we're heading for Richmond International Raceway next week and then on to Chicagoland, Kentucky, Dover, Charlotte, Kansas, Texas, Phoenix, and we close out the season at Homestead Miami Speedway. 1866 GO NASCAR. And if you're there, stop by, say hi. We'll see you at one of those tracks. Now, the caution for debris, our 7th of the night, and of course we showed the water bottle going out the 22. NASCAR said it was not that piece that caused the caution. Here was just one of the 2 stops we saw during the commercial break where the safety crews went out on the track, so we wanted to show you that. And we'll get ready to reset it here as we will have 8 laps to go next time by. Okay, so let's show you where Kevin Harvick is. A familiar spot right up front. He's going to take the low line again. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. tried to give him everything he's had all night, but he's just not been, well, nobody's been as good as the 33. Michael Annett got the lucky dog. 9 cars on the lead lap. Behind Harvick Stenhouse, it's Dillon, Kyle Busch, Elliott Sadler, Cole Witt, Allgaier, Brad Keselowski, and Michael Annett. 2012 season, the final green flag stretch was 2 laps or less in 5 of the last 8 races, including the last 3. Is that another omen? Well, we're about to find out as the cars are heading through turns 3 and 4. The pace car will pull down, and we will watch and see if Kevin Harvick does what he's done every other time tonight, have a perfect restart.
All he's got to do is not miss a gear, and this is his.
Green flag, here we go. Stenhouse is trying. Can't get it done. And there goes Harvick.
Here comes Allgaier with those fresh tires. See how much he can get.
Allgaier down low in that 31. You saw Kyle Busch take a look outside. Now we got a crash as the 30 goes around. The 44, the 08. Look out. Ouch. There's going to be a bang there. So that's James Buescher. Then the 08 of Kyle Fowler also in this. Guess we're going to have to do this all again. There's the 44 and the damage on Mike Bliss. Bliss was running in the 11th position, just 1 lap down.
Yeah, man, it's a shame for Mike Bliss. He'd had a solid night.
Looks like Sam Hornish Jr. will be the beneficiary here. He will get the lucky dog. That'll get him back on the lead lap, give us 10 cars on the lead lap. All right, let's go back and show you exactly what happened to create this mess. Our 8th caution.
Danica Patrick up on the high side. I'm not sure that James Buescher knew that she was even there. Looks like there might be some contact. these two have had a little trouble before. Going back to last year.
Back and show you another angle.
That's really nothing. You can see Danica has the spot there.
Yeah, she's all the way up against the wall.
She actually came down and got into the 44 of Mike Bliss as she tried to dodge what was going on.
All right, let's just listen in on this replay.
Come on. Hold on. Keep digging right there. Probably has some front damage. That 30 came up. Check.
There's a great angle right there.
I've seen that happen a lot here. You just get that big run off the high side. You think, you know, if you're the guy on the bottom, you think you've got the car cleared. And, I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of inches, but you get clipped in the wall pretty easy.
Now we have gone to a red flag situation so that NASCAR can clean everything up here.
Well, everybody's on their last set of tires. There's a ton of debris back there, so if somebody happened to run through that,
great point.
It would be a real problem if they had a flat tire now.
So you can see at the top of the screen we have 7 laps remaining as of right now. And as we mentioned, we'll have 10 cars on the lead lap when we come back to racing. There's the cleanup going on. Get a couple of these cars on the hook. While we've got a moment, while they're taking time to clean up the track, let's check in with some of the crew chiefs. How about it, Vince?
Visit with Mike Kelly, the crew chief for Ricky Stenhouse in the 6. I know you guys have been working on this car, trying to get it good for Ricky all night long. It seems that nobody's had anything for Harvick tonight. You're going to start alongside of him here with just a couple to go. What do you have for him here at the end?
Man, I don't know. I didn't even know Harvick's been in this race. He's been out there all by himself. They've had an exceptional car, but the Cargill Beef Mustang's been second in class kind of all night long. We've been working on it. We haven't made it really that much better. We haven't been able to gain on it, but we'll see what we can do here on this restart. Hopefully we can hold these guys off behind us and get us a good, decent points night tonight.
Yeah, in the battle for the championship, you came into this 19 points behind Elliott Sadler. You championship racing right now, knowing how good Harvick's been all night?
Well, I'm not sure what Ricky Stenhouse is thinking, but I know what I have on my mind, and for sure I know he wants to get a good, solid finish out here. We get out of here second. We've led some laps. We'll gain some points, and we'll move on to Richmond next week.
Thanks, Mike. Shannon?
Well, Kevin Harvick, no doubt you guys have had the dominant car. These late race situations and leading most of the laps, you guys have been here before. What's your mindset right now? What do you expect to see once we go green?
Well, hopefully he'll take care of it here on the green-white checkered. I mean, he's the best there is out these restarts and taking care of it, especially he's got the best car. So, the 31 and 22 got tires. I think they're the only ones that, if it all works out, it all matters how this restart all shuffles out. But I think we'll be fine.
Sitting up here, what's it like for you to watch such a dominant performance from a car that you set up?
Well, this usually is a little easier going than this, but this year we've led a lot of races and we haven't won yet, so a little more nervous than normal.
All right, Arnie Coe, thank you.
Thanks.
Guys?
Yeah, and let's check in also with Cole Witt. He is our in-race reporter, and he has a great run going tonight. He is shown in 7th position. DJ?
Hey, Cole, Dale Jarrett, you with us?
Yeah, 10-4. How are you, Dale?
I'm doing great. How are things going for you? You've had a very solid night once again.
Yeah, 10-4. It's been good. I mean, it's nice to finally be up here running up front. We're running, good where we need to be. We're been real respectable all night. Just kind of got caught on the short end of that a little bit with pit strategy, but there's nothing we can do about that. So, Bruce's been calling a great race. It's just, it is what it is, and we're at the end of the chomp a bit right here with these guys behind us. So we'll just do what we can and make something happen.
Cole, I know things are kind of in your hands as the driver right now. Are these restarts as wild where you're sitting as where we're watching?
Oh, they're definitely wild. I mean, we've been 3, 4 wide. And pick your lane, you got to go, because if you sit back at all, someone's going to eat you from behind. So it's all about just go and take all you can get.
Okay, Cole, good luck in these last 5. Thanks for talking with us.
Thanks, guys.
And remember, Cole was coming off a 6th place finish last week at Bristol, and right now he's running in the 7th position. Let's go back to the crash one more time that put us under a 3-minute and 10-second red flag situation, and then listen to the 30 radio.
I didn't even move up. I mean, she had a lane, didn't she? Yeah, she had a lane. If you did move, she had a lane. But I suppose we're even now.
That's the reference to the incident from last year.
Yeah, well, there's always 2 sides to every story, but I think that he did run Danica out of racing room. I just can't see where this time she did anything wrong. This is just the way things happen, as Andy pointed out.
I saw the same thing. I don't think she didn't have any more room on the wall.
And let me correct myself, it was 2 years ago, and we actually have the video. We'll take you back to that moment. She got turned at California. And then here's tonight.
The instance look kind of similar.
Well, you know, I think that Danica's been getting a lot of pressure from her crew chief and others telling her that she's got to stand her ground a little bit more. And I think that's what we saw right there. And I just don't think that she did anything wrong in that case. It's towards the end of the race. You stand your ground. You've got to run. And, you know, unfortunate, it created contact and some cars got torn up. But that's racing and the way it goes sometimes.
As she goes back out on the track, we'll show you one more time from her onboard.
See, she's getting a run. She pedaled the car a little bit. And it looked like he did try to leave a lane. Busher did, but he just didn't leave a full lane for the 7 car to get into.
Keep digging right there. Probably has some front damage. That 30 came.
You know, the one thing I would go back to is Mike Kelly saying, I know what I'd like to, but I don't know if Ricky is thinking the same thing. All Mike needs to do is remind him about Montreal when he saw that opening and thought he could go for the race win.
How'd it work out?
It didn't work out. It did not work out. And the last thing he wants to do here is get too aggressive.
Yeah, what he needs to do is Harvick's going to get a good jump, and Stenhouse on these restarts has been able to get to the bottom, and he really needs to make that happen here and realize that you're not going to do anything with Kevin Harvick tonight. So now you maximize your points and gain what you can on Elliott Sadler.
And he would gain. Right now the differential would be 16 instead of 19 if it ends the way they're running. Now they added a lap because the 12 actually went down pit road and is coming back around to get into position. That's the lucky dog. They are entitled to do that, and Sam is just catching up to the back of the field as we speak. All right, we were talking about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and what can he do with the 33. Let's listen in on the radio.
Just kind of hoping that 33 wouldn't start. That would definitely help us out. Copy that. Thing looks like it's on a slot car track around here. Get them for.
I agree.
He's got it perfect. That was their only hope, is what he just said, that thing wouldn't start. It did, so they're in trouble.
And let's quickly check in on Elliott Sadler's crew chief. How about it, Shannon?
Okay, so I sat down and Luke Lambert said to me, what do you think? I told him that's his job, so what do you think?
I don't know. I'm just real proud of the One Main Financial Chevrolet team here. Everybody's fought hard all night. We've, you know, this place is a tough place. You got to keep your tires on your car and keep track position all at the same time. So hopefully we've done the right thing, and hopefully this restart will go clean for us here. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you.
Guys.
10 cars on the lead lap, led by Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the front row. Then you've got Austin Dillon and Elliott Sadler side by side in row number 2. Then back in row number 3, there's Justin Allgaier, Kyle Busch. And in row number 4, Cole Witt, Brad Keselowski. The pace car pulls off. There you see row number 5, and we're getting ready to go green. 3 laps to go.
I was wondering if Elliott Sadler might do that, get down there on the bottom side, because there's 2 guys with fresh tires, 31 and 22, coming fast on the outside.
6 is staying side by side with the 33. Harvick has got his hands full right now.
We haven't even seen anybody be able to come off of turn 2 with him. If he can get down there and loosen Harvick up a little bit, no, didn't happen.
Didn't happen. He had one shot at it, couldn't quite pull it off. This time by 2 laps remaining.
Keselowski with those fresh tires right behind Elliott Sadler.
What a run by Keselowski. 2 laps down after 2 speeding penalties, and here he is in 3rd position.
He's still got some time left.
You know, Sadler knew he couldn't hold him off with those fresh tires. He's only hoping that he can go up and get some of Stenhouse. But Stenhouse wants to get to the back bumper of Harvick here.
Look at this run Keselowski's got off turn 4.
He's still got time.
He's coming. There's your top 3. White flags out.
22's coming quick.
1 lap. You heard it. 22 is coming quick. Stenhouse going high. What's happening to Harvick?
Going down or something.
Harvick has led 157 laps, and all of a sudden, this race is going away from him.
Keselowski's only going to have to go to the high side, but he's not going to be able to get to Stenhouse, I don't believe.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is living large. He comes out of 4. He's going to win the race.
Awesome job, guys. Awesome job. Awesome job.
I am speechless.
I don't know how that happened.
Harvick led 157 laps, ends up 3rd. Look at these guys. Mike Kelly and crew.
They didn't expect it either. You heard Mike Kelly.
Nobody in this crowd expected it. And the fireworks go off behind the backstretch. And boy, were there some fireworks on that last lap.
I don't know what. Harvick's got some issues. He ran into the back of Brad Keselowski, going over into 3, and then he's got on the pit road and stopped right in front of him.
Harvick's climbed out. I don't know what that conversation's about. It didn't look heated at all.
I don't think that's the conversation he's wanting to have. I think this next one is the conversation.
Look at the celebration for the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. What we're hearing now from the radio, our production director tells us that Kevin was upset about the water bottle.
Well, that's the caution that came out that changed the way the race ended. But the NASCAR said that was not what caused that caution, even though we showed the water bottle.
On the right side of your screen, Ricky Stenhouse has his 6th career win. He doesn't care about the water bottle or anything else that's going on pit road right now. He's celebrating.
No, what a great job he did of driving around Harvick. I don't know if Harvick had it. Looked like he had a problem, but it doesn't seem that there was a tire down. He just couldn't get going that last time. But Ricky Stenhouse, man, you got to give it to him. He never gives up in that race car.
And Kevin Harvick now has a career-long 30-race winless streak in the Nationwide Series.
I don't know how he lost this one.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear from him and see what happened on that last lap. Mike has caught up with Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, catching up with Brad now. Brad just catching his breath. A great comeback, but we got to start with that conversation with Kevin Harvick. What was that about?
I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I'm just starting to catch up. Something about a water bottle. I don't know if the yell came out because of the water bottle, but I don't know what's going on yet. I gotta rewatch and see what he's talking about.
We were told by NASCAR the yellow did not come out because of the water bottle.
Okay. I didn't know there was a yellow for a water bottle to begin with, so it's all news to me. I don't know what's going on. That's the first I've heard it when Kevin walked by, so I defer to NASCAR, whatever their reason is. I don't know what the yellow came out for, but certainly the Discount Tire team did a good job.
We were down 2 laps at one point.
Yeah, all my fault. I sped on pit road, and the guys routed around, and great effort. Good battle there at the end, and just proud of a decent day and a good finish out of my team. And I'll have to rewatch the race to see what everybody else is talking about, because I really don't know. But I mean, obviously, yeah, I threw a water bottle out. Everybody in the dang garage throws a water bottle out, and their tear-offs off their nose. And, Don't know what I don't know what's going on. NASCAR doesn't throw yellows for that usually. So you know, if they say there's another reason, I got to believe them.
Thanks, Brad.
So there you get Brad.
A couple issues obviously to cover with Kevin as well. First of all, the discussion with Brad, and then secondly, where did the car go in that last restart?
I didn't go anywhere. I mean, you know, the 6 had been good on the restarts on the top side, and you know, you had the car with the freshest tires that threw the water bottle out the window to get the caution pushing him from behind. So, you know, that's a tough way to lose it. But Bad Boy Buggies was good all night, and those guys they got to my quarter panel hanging on the outside there, and I just didn't get to the bottom, and they got a good run off it too.
Even though you did not win tonight, what did this do for you in terms of tomorrow's race?
Oh man, you know, it's kind of how the whole year's gone. We've been right there where we needed to be, and we took a lot from the car from tomorrow to today. But you hate to lose them when they're that good, and you could see the circumstances from the tower and the circumstances from what happened with the 22, not playing in our favor with the 31 and the 22, and you can get to the gas so much harder on restart. He was able to push the 6 up there to the quarter panel, so one of them deals.
Okay, and last thing, NASCAR says it was not the water bottle that caused the caution. Does that change anything in your mind?
Why'd you guys keep showing it on the replay then? You know, the caution came out when the water bottle went out the window, so they can say what they want. And they throw cautions when they want to, and tonight they threw it and got what they wanted.
All right, that's Kevin Harvick. Fast car tonight, Shannon. He didn't get the victory he wanted.
Well, Elliott Sadler, you said that this was one track that made you a little nervous. What do you think about a 4th place finish?
Well, I mean, it's a 4th place finish. My guys did a good job. I didn't run too well here last year, and the guys brought me a really good race car, and we were just getting a little bit too loose on long runs, lost a little track position there, and fought back there at the end. I'm just proud of these guys in this One Main Financial car. We don't give up, man. We just keep fighting. We just want to win some more races, and we will. But, you know, we'll take 2 top 5s in a row and get ready to go to Richmond. It's the 100th anniversary for One Main Financial. We got a cool paint scheme for next week, and we're going home, so we'll take this momentum there.
4th place for Elliott Sadler. Marty?
After 9 straight wins by Cup regulars, guess what? A nationwide regular is in victory lane. His name is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. somehow manages to win that race. Now, I talked to Mike Kelly, your crew chief, just before that restart, and he was hoping you were going to take it a little more conservatively. But he said you always have a different idea. What happened on that restart? How'd you pull that out?
Man, that 33 was fast, but Doug Yates, Roush Yates in the shop did an awesome job with this, the body shop. These guys made great changes, Mike, and the guys on pit road did an awesome job. I knew I had to get everything I could on that restart. We got a good restart, and I sucked down on him as hard as I could to slow him down, and he started getting loose up off of 2, and the 22 gave us a push down the front straightaway that helped us get to the lead. So he's going to be a good Ford teammate next year, but got to thank Noss, Cargill Beef. Glad to get them another win this year, and Valvoline, Oakley, Tony Lama, Sarah Tuck, everybody, all these guys. It's cool. It's a memorial race this weekend for my buddy Donnie Ray Crawford that I carry on my belt every week, and I couldn't be there, so it's cool that we got this win.
Congratulations. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., winner tonight. Marty?
He cuts the lead to 12 from Elliott Sadler. In 3rd place, it is now the 12 car, 32 points behind, and the 3 car of Austin Dillon, 37. Tomorrow, NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Atlanta. It's presented by Pennzoil, 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. Coming up next, it's SportsCenter. Congratulations to that man right there, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., with a last lap pass. Only the 2nd time it's happened in nationwide history here at Atlanta. For our entire ESPN crew, I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us. Till we meet again.